Mexican government.
You're talking about all men.
Ooh, yeah! Tito Santana.
I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. It's gonna be a tough one to swallow tonight, folks. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky to your cabin in the woods, or just couch surfing, or maybe on a road trip, or relaxing on your lazy boy, or bunking out, or bugging out, should I say? People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you. So crack open a window, sit back, relax, get some coffee or tea, turn down the lights, and let's get dangerous. No, turn the lights down, because it's a little less dangerous. Because you're tuned in to Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. Hashtag Mike in the Night. Okay, guys, well, there's a lot going on. Intro track before I kick off. Intro track by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. And we are 2 weeks and a day out. 2 weeks and a day. I hope everybody's doing good out there. I hope everyone's having a great week. It hasn't been too hot where I'm at. It's only like 30 degrees. So that's, I don't know, like 100 and 110 or something Fahrenheit. So it's only 30. So it's like 90, 98 here. And I want to thank everyone that is resharing this. I had somebody call me today at the shop to let me know that they don't know why they can't find Mike in the Night. What happened? Well, guys, we're streaming on our backup live stream channel now. I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know how to like it's getting to a point where they're going to shut everything down. And I mean, if we're not right, or we're not, you see, they got language for everything. Oh, you're spreading misinformation. Well, what is misinformation, right? You know, you got the subject, the predicate, like the support word, the adverb. Like, what the hell is considered misinformation anymore? Spreading misinformation today to me means that you are questioning the status quo. That's called spreading when you want to ask something. Oh, you're going against science. Right there for science. That's for science. Right there for science. Oh, Mike, you wouldn't have electricity for your show if it wasn't for science. Yeah? You telling me two guys that haven't showered in 3 days in some warehouse in Baltimore trying to work with filaments and using potato peels as filament for a light bulb because they have no idea how to conduct You think that was invented in a scientific laboratory? Right there for science. That's for science. So anyways, we got people rolling into the comments. We got Dina Soar in the house. Pierre Grosso in the house. Tignim in the house. Tignim says she's going to call in. She's going to make a call to Mike in the Night tonight. All right, let's get into our first channel plug, and then we're going to get into some serious arm bashing tonight. So if you got kids watching this show, I recommend that they don't watch this show. So remember, this show, do not listen to anything we say. This is opinion-based. We do not give medical advice. And due to this channel's poor quality and poor content, we recommend that nobody ever watch this show. All right. So we got people rolling into the comments. Wow, we already got 75 people watching. That's really good, considering this is the backup channel. So guys, please share this. I got the Discord open. The Discord is open right now, and we're under text channel, Mike in the Night text channel. So you can send me live text. We got Tom Neo in the house. We got, who else is in the house here? Crypto Overlord. I think Fringe is in the house. Heiza says Hitting Stacks in the house. So we do have people in the live Discord right now as we are speaking. Okay. Big Rob New Zealand in the house too. Order Divine Warrior in the house. And Trust the Silence is in the house. Thank God he's here. All right. So let's go to our first channel plug, and then we're going to get into some serious arm bashing here. I just getting like very fed up with the BS. The BS is really, really out of control. Like, they gotta stop with the bullshit. I mean, the people that can't see it are obviously there's something friggin' wrong with them. That's great. Okay, here we go, guys. So, guys, please, I'm asking, please do not forget to subscribe to the main channel. This is the main channel here. I want to keep this channel going. I do upload videos. I did do the Mickey Mouse video. If you guys haven't seen my Mickey Mouse voice, you might want to watch my Mask Stay On video with Mickey Mouse in it. And I actually do the voiceover on this whole thing. So, Mask Stay On. There's the link there. I don't know if it's going to work, because I've been leaving links in the live stream and nothing's working. Guys, this is next Saturday's Mike in the Night. We're going to be 1 week and a day out next week. So please, guys, don't forget to set your reminders for that show next week. Don't forget, guys, I want to thank folks down in the United States that have been actually purchasing stuff from my game store. It's mtg.toys. Guys, I want to thank you. This keeps the transmission alive. It keeps food on my table. And I have almost every board game you could ever fathom, ever. Good board games. I'm talking about like real stuff. So if you're looking for spend some time with the family, or we go back down on a major lockdown, check out mtg.toys. We deliver in North America. Guys, please, if you can, go ahead and message me here on Mike Martin's official here on if you don't mind, please go ahead and message me here on Instagram. Artbydano.com, artbydano.net, artbydano.com. Not your typical art. Commission Dano to make you a custom art. You could find him on the, what's that? I forgot the pier, the beach. Oh, he keeps telling me the beach. I'm really sorry, Dano. I forgot. I just have so much on my mind here. Don't forget artbydano.com. Huntington Beach. You could find him in Huntington Beach Pier in California. If you're down by the area, tell him that Mike Martins, a.k.a. Mike in the Night, sent you. And music by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. Don't forget to check out Ralphie.co.New Zealand, broadcasting Mike in the Night from Auckland, New Zealand. Rebroadcasts, really good chat, really good one. And guys, don't forget to fund the Amerifornia Tour 2021-2022. Lord Humongous, come on, help him out. He's got a tour he needs to take out, and he needs a tour he needs to do for us for the channel. Guys, I got this Amerifornia thing here, if you guys want to see. This is the Amerifornia board game we're making. So Dano is making this, actually, and so there it is right there. So you start here, and you go around. This is the Canada-US border here, so that's the border right there. And then you got the $2 million homes here in Canada, $5 million crack shacks. And then there's the Maritoys and Games here. And then Mike in the Night here. I'm just trying to see what else is here. Roll doubles, Canada, US. So luxury condo, $1.9 million there in Toronto. So it's going to be really good. The Amerifornia board game is coming out. Digital Zero Superhero. And there it is right there. That looks pretty good. It's coming together. Oh, there's just JT. There's the great Canadian. Let me see if there it is. There's the great Canadian leader right here on the board game right there. Look who I found. It's Chief. I'm not going to say that. So there it is right there. And look at that, man. There's the Ravens Corvette. There's the Maritoys and Games. So everything is here, guys. Really good. Thank you so much, Dano, for making this board game. He's throwing it together as we speak. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, it's Mike in the Night. I hope everyone's having a great week out there. And man, busy at the shop, busy with everything, and busy with family. I have a car in the race that I'm sponsoring. I went to go see the qualifying today. Tomorrow is the big race, so I'll be there with the family watching the race tomorrow. It's going to be nice. And I don't know, guys. Like I'm focusing on like business as usual. We're not in lockdown here yet, so there's a lot of divide between businesses that are going to start dividing with vaxxed and unvaccinated. So you're going to have different services if you're unvaccinated. So I'm going to show you guys quite a few articles out there that are discussing this. So we are rolling out Grindhouse cartoons. I hope he was here earlier because I plugged him. And Lord Humongous 2 I plugged. Okay, guys, let's get to... all right, man. I'm just scared to get to tonight's stuff, but here we go. Okay, guys, so let's go to the channel real quick and see... I asked this the other day, and I think it was yesterday I asked this. What do you guys miss the most since the BS of 2020? Nightclubs say 11%. 11% of you guys said nightclubs. Shopping and browsing, 14%. Going to the gym, 19%. Family gatherings, 26%. And the highest vote is a normal work atmosphere. So people 30% miss a normal work atmosphere. So this is kind of important. Scientists warn that within 6 months, humanity will run out of things to call racist. Yeah. So that's 6 months from now, guys. We're going to find out. We're going to just find a huge issue that we're going to not find things to call racist anymore. This week, this hat and this cross is this week. Next week will be the water bottle. In 6 months' time, it's all gone. What are you going to call racist after 6 months, right? All right, let's keep going here. Mask Stay On. Guys, you need to watch the Mask Stay On video. Very important video. Very informational. And I should play this when I go to some seminar. Just like play that video first and kind of get everybody on the same page, right? So California reimposes mask mandate. That's what the video is about. Unvaccinated people in parts of China to be denied access to hospitals, parks, and schools. So now there's an application. I talked to Shanghai Larry in depth on Thursday, and he told me that in China, with the social credit score, they have this app that, it's part of the app that actually shows the vaccinations, the dates, which vaccines, what companies and whatnot. And then not only that, it actually has a software, he says, that if it's removed or tampered with, you could go to jail. You could just go indefinitely to jail. Like, there's something in the software that's on the phones in China, and the people that don't have phones will be receiving free phones, like the Obama phone. Everyone thought they were actually getting a free phone. They were just getting tracked. Right? So there it is. So something happening with the software. So he sent me some PDF. It's all in Chinese. I'm gonna wait for him to talk to me about it. So we're gonna find out what the hell is going on. We got, I live in San Bernardino County here. Margie saying, no mask mandate here right now. Maybe they saw my Mickey Mouse video. Meanwhile, in New Zealand, howl of protests, farmers drive tractors in Auckland. And South Africa's government deployed the army to quell unrest. So there it is right there. Protests sparked by the arrest of Jacob Zuma. So I don't even know if it's from that. And then our Canadian government here. This is the Canadian government. He's saying, and they're praising Fidel Castro. He saw a country racked by poverty, illiteracy, and disease. So he led a revolution that uplifted the lives of millions. Rest in peace, Fidel Castro. So that is from the Canadian Parliament here, who is basically, I don't know what they're doing, but because they don't even know what they're doing. So let's move it forward here. So this is a big arm basher. We're going to be arm bashing. We're going to be doing it at home together. So, you know, like when you watch baseball, you get the 7-inning stretch? So here it is. This one really pissed me off when I saw this. Guys, go to our live. I'm seeing people here. There's people live on our Discord. Get on. Somebody put the Discord link in there, please. Here it is. No return to normal expected in post-pandemic. So, okay. They could say that. How? They could say that in 5 different languages if they want, and it doesn't bother me. This is the part that bothers me. And locals say it's fine. And locals say it's fine. So no return to normal expected in post-pandemic New Zealand. You could say that. Heck, you could say that in Chinese because I don't care. It's when they say, and locals say it's fine. You see what they're doing? They're speaking. Not only are they full of shit, but now they're speaking to us. So why are they telling this shit for? Why are you telling us this for? So guys, put the link in Discord, please, in the thing. It changes every hour. Yeah, this is misinformation. So who do we go after? Whose door are we gonna knock on? Whose door do we knock on to find out?
You're not a nice person.
To find out who's misinforming these people. You see, I'm right here showing my face. You want to come? My store is in 1925 Quilchina in downtown Merritt. I'm very accessible. You know why? I have nothing to hide because I ain't posting this garbage online. So here it is right here. Oops. No return to normal expected in post-pandemic New Zealand. I don't care. It's this part. And locals say it's fine. So you grab your left arm, put it up just about here, up show almost right here, and you like this. And that's what you tell them. Yeah. Anthony Ruvalacaba is saying locals, that's fine. Hold my beer, grab shotgun. Yeah. Margie O saying it's not fine. Baron von Biscus says 17 minutes beside hi guys. And then we got Adrian T in the house. Hello, Humongous Raven, Linny, Layla, Supreme. So Gary Medeiros and friends. So everybody's here tonight rolling through. So there it is. This pisses. Now let's read this garbage here. Polls show a poll. So they ran a poll. You know, so if they're running polls and everyone's in favor of this garbage, why are they taking dislikes down on YouTube? Why are they taking dislikes down on Canadian media that can't make it on cable? So they got to come on YouTube and cut off the small guys out, and still nobody watches them. Why do they take down the comments? I don't take down my comments and disable my dislikes. Why did they have to do that? So if everybody's in favor of this, if everybody voted for Biden, why do they have to remove all the dislikes on the stupid White House page?
You're not a nice person.
And locals say it's fine. Okay. Poll shows New Zealanders accept that life will be different in the future. And they still feel their country is headed in the right direction. Oh, yeah, it's not going to come back to normal. But this is the way we want it. So I need somebody right now. I know there's people right now in New Zealand watching this damn show. So if you're watching this in New Zealand, you call me right now and you tell me this is what you want. And this is what you're the majority. So finding a majority is not that hard. Because according to these beefcakes, a majority is like 90% if this is what New Zealanders want. Oh, we got Steve the plumber in the house. Good to see him. We haven't heard from him in ages. As countries look for a post-pandemic pathway to back to normal, New Zealand is making for it to be, okay. I'm not going to discuss this again. The death rate needs to be 26% to be a pandemic. Okay, so they got to stop screwing with the language, and is making no promises, and its population seems startlingly happy with that. What the hell does startlingly mean? I'm startlingly happy. Is that like a Mickey Mouse thing? Around the world, some governments are hitting full throttle with rhetoric about return to normal. So now, returning to normal is considered rhetoric. Hold on. Shoulder. So it's rhetoric. Just like that piece of garbage down in the White House was saying the other day. He was saying, oh, it's barbaric for Texas to reopen. They're Neanderthals. Texas reopens. I don't know. There's nothing happening in Texas. I think they need to start auditing death certificates. I think auditing death certificates is the way to go forward now. Death for this is 0.001%. And it's majority of the people are over 90 years old. So the New Zealand's approach has been cautious by contrast. What, do I have to be Edgar Allan Poe to read this piece of garbage? To what are they telling? What are they telling me this shit for? The government has made no assurances of a return to normal anytime soon. Announced no multi-step pathway out, and put forward no timeline for reopening borders even to vaccinated travelers. So if you got the vaccine, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. For the population that messaging seems to have to sink in, the vast majority of New Zealanders, 91%, do not expect life to return. 91%. Okay, I'm gonna call somebody in New Zealand. I need to find 91%. So that means if I call 100 people, 91 of them already know that they don't expect life to return to normal. They don't want life to return to normal. All right, I gotta find somebody in New Zealand. Let me find somebody here in New Zealand. I gotta find out what's happening. No, because if I call somebody, I'm gonna be yelling at them, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, man, why are you yelling at me for?" Let me see if Tristan's still here. See if Tristan's still here. See if Tristan picks up his Skype. He'll probably call us back. I'll get Tristan to call back. He's in New Zealand. He knows what's going on. He knows what's happening there. I want to know, 91% do not expect life to turn around. Why are they saying this shit? In recent speeches, the media interviews Prime Minister Jacinta Ardern has likened the COVID-19 pandemic to the 9/11 terror. Oh, it's not linked. Likened? Is that even English? The COVID-19 pandemic to the 9/11 terror attacks, in the sense that, okay, if it's considered as a terror attack, why isn't anyone going after China, where the virus was released from? Oh no, we can't. No. We can't do that. We can't do that.
I love China.
All right. This week, Deputy Prime Minister Grant Robertson told the business audience, I appreciate we all want certainty, precise dates and times for things to be normal again. What is this? What is this guy? This guy doesn't give a rat's ass. Do you know why? Do you know why this guy doesn't care? Because he's sucking off the public tit. He's living off of federal funds. He doesn't give a crap if things go back. He doesn't care if people are losing their lives. Right, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna stop picking on New Zealand. I can't fathom this. 91%. So if you're from New Zealand, you comment below and after. I don't care. I'll read the comments later. I want to know what the hell is going on, because I don't know why the Guardian is speaking for your country. All right. Australia, COVID-19 news live. New South Wales tighten lockdown in Sydney, Southwest Victoria. Exposure list tops 200. This is the Victorian COVID. Isn't this the Delta one now? What do they call this one now? Ball juice? So, Premier Daniel Andrews and Brett Sutton and COVID Commander Jordan. Okay, these guys need to start working. These guys need to start working voluntarily. They need to volunteer. Okay? If I work for government or something, I would just volunteer. I would not want to get paid. Like, if I had a position like this, I'd say, look, I'm doing it. If I'm doing this for the people and I'm for the people, I don't want to get paid. I don't want some Mickey Mouse bonds. I don't want just let me work for the people, and I could die in peace. I know I could die in peace. I know I can. I don't know where a lot of people, I know where I'm going when I die, so I ain't worried. New South Wales reports fourth dead among 105 cases. Outbreak grows. There were 66,671 tests reported in 24 hours. So 66,000, what is that per hour? Okay, guys, in the comments, can you tell me what that is? 66,671 divided into 24. How many tests is that per hour? Is that even possible? Is that even humanly possible? I don't even know what to say. 66,000, what is that? What is that? Let me open my calculator. What the hell is that? 66,000. 66,671 divided into 24. 2,777 tests per hour in 24. How the hell do you do 2,777 tests? Okay, they're going to have to stop with this bullshit. This is just bullshit. Oh, Matthew, turn on your Skype. You're saying that Sydney test sites are empty. All right, let's get Matthew on the phone if he picks up the phone. He's in Sydney, Australia.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, mate?
Good. Just
Okay,
enjoying
Matt,
what-
I need to ask you something.
Yeah.
66,671 tests reported in 24 hours on Saturday night in New South Wales. Is that possible? I mean, you're there. Can you tell us what's going on?
I've seen footage of people at testing sites and they've been empty.
They're empty.
Empty.
So you mean there's nobody there? There's a couple of maybe pieces of garbage floating around on the floor, a couple of chairs moved around, but there's nobody there.
No one's lining up to get the test.
So how did they test 66,671 people in 20? I'm not understanding this. Are they just pulling this out of their rear end?
Sure, guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't know. So tell us what's going on in Australia right now. You guys in lockdown again?
Yeah, Melbourne, or all of Victoria locked down. But the funny thing is, I went to a funeral on Monday, and then as I was driving home, I was at the western suburbs in High Point.
Mm-hmm.
I'd seen them putting up one of those testing sites, and I thought, I'm going to keep an eye on this. And sure enough, 3 days later, I think it was Wednesday, High Point was one of those exposure sites.
Wow.
And you think about how much time does it take for, let's just say, a general government inquiry into something. Let's say you wanting to build a house. How long do they take to get back to you with all the permits and that?
Like 2 to 6 weeks?
Yeah. So why would they go and rush to put these testing sites up in 2 days unless it was planned?
Okay, so are you in that 10 kilometer radius BS shit? Like you can't be 10 kilometers away from your home?
I think it's 5. There's so much news. It's like, it's so tiring to keep up with now.
So it's 5 kilometers. So that's like 3 miles.
Yeah, I think it's 5Ks at the moment.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sense of this myself. It's not making any sense. Is Australia like New Zealand, where 91% of 91% of New Zealanders don't expect life to return to normal, or do you think that's bullshit?
Well, just going off of some of the things I'm seeing, there's a trucking protest through the middle of Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
More people are banding together in different areas throughout these lockdown areas.
Are they? I saw the trucking protest in New Zealand. Let me ask you something. Are they spinning it as a pro-Trump protest?
It's hard to say. I haven't really kept
Yeah, you don't
up
know what
with
they're
it.
spinning it as. They could spin it as, oh, people take to the streets today. No, see, people aren't taking to the streets because 5 African presidents have been assassinated in the last 3 months. They don't talk about that, right? But they talk about, ooh, this guy said something. He said blue, so we got to go out. But no, they're not. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, so I've just seen something that makes sense. It's like they are starting to let people out and not trample on them with police as much because there could be martial law being rolled out soon.
Isn't that illegal?
I don't know, but there could be military intervention if they want us to go start rioting against them.
Wow. Wow, I don't know why would they put this shit out and not expect no sort of recourse, what is with the misinformation? Like, what is for misinforming people? Why? It makes zero sense. Like, even I would think that, see, I'm not really educated. Maybe I'm missing something here. But I would think somebody with a degree that has all this cool stuff and education and all that stuff, I would imagine that they could see right through this like nobody's business.
Yeah, it depends what degree they want that certification and what they're willing to believe.
Oh, because if it's gender studies, it might be different, or if it's architecture or whatever the degree is. Okay, I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's the brainwashing part. Like Dollar Vigilante says, the doctors are the most brainwashed people. They recite the most info. And it's pretty evident. Just go to the doctor and get him to tell you about something you got.
When are they going to stop funding these people? Like, seriously, why are these people even there? What's their point?
Just to unveil the new order.
All right, Matt. I just wanted you to keep your eyes and ears open and let me know what's going down there, okay?
Yeah, just one last thing.
Sure.
There's the the new law they've passed.
Oh, a new law. Hold on, let me get a round of applause. Hold on, round of applause. New law. All right, hold on. Okay, the applause is done. What's the new law in Australia?
If you let a helium balloon go into the atmosphere, you get a fine of, I think it was $10,000 or $5,000.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
No, it's someone that's actually believing all the corona stuff. He told me that. I couldn't believe he believes it.
So if you let a helium balloon,
Yep.
because it's damaging the ozone layer that they said was damaged back in 1984, and you could get fined 10 large.
It was 5 or 10, either one. But the fact is, how many masks do you see going down the street now, just laying on the ground?
Couple of hundred a week.
Yeah, so they're not really worried about the environment. It's gone really strange.
Yeah, it's getting very strange. I'm with you on that. Well, okay, Matt, keep us updated, okay? Let us know what's going down under. Thank you.
No problem.
God bless.
Keep in touch.
All right.
All right, bye.
That is Matthew down in lockdown again in Australia. Wow. So let's see what the comments are saying here. Guys, don't forget to get on our Discord. Someone leave the link for the Discord there. We are on text channel Mike in the Night live. right now. Okay, let's see what's happening. Mike Martins, I just watched a documentary on the Haiti wars. I realized that president was assassinated last week. Yeah, okay. So, that's Haiti. Okay, Haiti is borders Dominican Republic. That's another president that was shot. But there's been 5 presidents in Africa that have been assassinated in the last 3 months, right? So that is something that they don't talk about on the news. I have ties to Africa, very big ties. Okay, big ties. In Mozambique and Angola and Guinea-Bissau and a little bit not really in Cape Verde. But I have people that messaged me this morning from Angola. It's like, hey man, everyone's going to church. I don't know what you guys are worrying about over there. I don't know. We don't know what's, we got a rally race. We got this. We got, I don't know. So, okay. So we got, Anna Key says, constant media and police find bashing up good Aussies. Yes, math is racist. David Xavier, let's get him here on the show. I hope he could come on the show. I'm just gonna look this up real quick here. Math is racist. So I got news here from Mexico. Math is racist. Critical race theory, foolish. 3 R's. Where's this? Math is racist. Okay. So Ford, this is Mr. Mobility here. Ford removing anti-racism text from math curriculum. Like, what the hell? Toronto Premier Doug Ford is defunding the removal of the language on racism and colonialism from the introduction of his government's new math curriculum, saying those issues should be addressed in other classes. So let's get mathematics has been used to normalize racism and marginalization of non-Eurocentric mathematical knowledges. Why are they telling us this garbage? Let's get David on the show. David Zhu, let's get him on the show. Pick up, David. Dave, I know you're watching. Pick up.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, good to hear from you. It's been a while. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, buddy, what the hell is this thing here with math being racist? What's going on?
What? Actually, I stumbled across some article last week. Actually, I was checking on, the Richard Branson going to space, and I was using the RT Russia Time app.
Russia Today, yes.
Yeah, Russia Today, Russia Time. So I discovered this quite actually by accident.
It's right here. School curriculum in Canada disputes view of math as objective discipline, argues it has been used to normalize racism.
I mean, I read a little bit of the article, but then I just gave up reading the rest because I knew this is like garbage. Just like what the F does math has anything to do with racism?
So here it is. Canada's Ontario province has injected anti-racist activism into its grade 9 math curriculum, decrying the science as have been used to normalize racism and demanding the lessons challenge systems of power and privilege. What the hell is this? What the hell does that even mean?
That's a good question. I don't know personally. Maybe ask someone else.
I'm gonna see if I can get Layla on because she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So I'll get her on the show later to find out what this means because this it's actually here in the news here in Ontario. It's on our news. So it's not just RT reporting it. It's everywhere that's reporting math is racism. But if you go back to the thing I put up here, that we're having a problem because scientists are saying, warned that within 6 months humanity will run out of things to call racist. So
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they don't have anything else better to do other than just trying to find things that are racist. Like, It's like what you said. You can call me a racist, but just don't call me a toaster.
Yeah, call me a racist. That's great. Just don't
Yeah.
call me a toaster.
Yeah.
So
When I was in grade 9, I was actually that was like 14 years ago. We learned about math, just like like geometry. We learned about like functions and stuff. I don't know, like I'm wondering what other people's experience were like when they were in like high school math. I mean, we did not mention a single word about like anything that's like has to do with racism and critical race theory. Like critical race theory, I don't know what that is, but maybe ask Layla later. Maybe she knows this more than I do. And yeah, it was all just like numbers and solving problems using your logic and reasoning. It has nothing to do with like political ideology. I don't understand where this is going. I mean, like right now I am single. I'm not married, and so I don't have any kids yet. And I don't know, like, do I want to put my kid through this, or do I homeschool my kid? I mean,
yeah,
like the way that. Sorry.
I was just gonna say if there's mandatory vaccines, my kids are coming home.
Yeah, I mean, looks like it's going that in that direction. That if you don't get the vaccine, you're not gonna go to like restaurants, theaters.
But the problem is our leaders never took them. They have these orange caps on the ends. A lot of them, there's nothing in them.
Yeah.
Like when
Even
you
if
watch the videos, they never take them.
Yeah. Right. I mean, even if they did, it's probably sugar water, or just some kind of placebo. That's how I look at it, though. But yeah, the politicians, the health ministers, yeah, they took the quote unquote jab. Yeah, those are all just for show. Those are not real. I doubt that. Like Mayor John Tory recently took what was it, AstraZeneca or Moderna as the second like shot, and he said it's fine. Like that's all BS. I don't believe a word he said.
Nope, because you were in your younger years, you were born in communist China, right?
I was, yeah.
And you could see through the bullshit, right?
Yeah, I mean, looking back now, yeah, it's like, I mean, the way that the educational system is like comparing China to here in Canada, there are a lot of similarities. Maybe it's because like this is all based on the British system, like our current educational system at least, like here in Canada, and yeah, like in China, I think, I don't know. I mean, maybe this is all part of something much bigger. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because, frankly, I don't really know that much. But I can see that this is all part of like something bigger, like an agenda or something like that.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Okay, David, I just wanted to get you on and do a quick plug with you. It's been a while since I spoke to you. It's good to hear you doing well.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like what, 6 months.
Yeah.
Some.
Well, I'm happy you're on the backup channel, so you know where we are.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
All right, keep your eyes and ears open and just let us know what the heck is going on in your neck of the woods, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
All right, buddy. God bless. Take care.
Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye bye.
That's David Zhu out in Ontario, Canada. I don't know, like, I got to go back to this. I'm sorry. No return to normal expected in post-pandemic New Zealand, and locals say it's fine. For the population, that messaging seems to have sunk in. The vast majority of New Zealanders, 91%, do not expect life to return to normal. I'm sorry. Go back to the beginning of this video if you want to see me arm bashing this thing. Like, I don't even know. I'm going to move this. I'm just going to move on here. I can't see that. And I can't see that too. Oof. Okay, Facebook says 85% of U.S. users are pro-vaccine. Oh, wow. So, wow, 85%. Wow. 85% of users are pro-vaccine. So why are they worried about that we'll have herd immunity? We'll have herd immunity, I think it's 70%. So 85% is good. 85% of users are pro-vaccine as it rejects Biden's criticism of killing people with COVID-19 misinformation. Facebook has patted itself on the back for encouraging vaccine acceptance among its U.S. users, noting an increase of 10 to 15% since January, while firing back at President Joe Biden's claim of subverting the rollout. The data shows that 85% of Facebook users... See, it's because Facebook said so. Do you remember on a few shows ago? Where I said Facebook is now allowing us to say the virus is man-made? Facebook is allowing us to say now that the vaccine really does not protect you against this whole strain or this whatever is happening. It doesn't. And that's why they're telling you in LA County, you need to start wearing a mask again. 2 masks. Hiran Musa saying he's sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of this. Now go back to Australia here real quick. Sydney lockdown shock as Gladys Berejiklian admits New South Wales has failed to quash the COVID outbreak. Fears of Fairfield, Liverpool, and Canterbury, Baxton residents, while shutdown of construction sector expected to cost more than 800 million to 1 billion per week. So, wow. So guys, if you want to, I think if you just cancel the news or cancel, I think that a lot of people still watch cable in Australia. This is who is allowed to travel for work if you live in the Fairfield, Canterbury, Baxton, and Liverpool. So they're telling now who's allowed to travel for retail, and they're letting people know. This is perfect. This is like you get on a local train in Australia, and the announcements comes on. Welcome, children of Big Brother. Today we will let you know who you could work in, where you can't work out of, and who you could follow. Thank you. Sit back and relax. Supermarkets and neighborhoods and shops. Shops are predominantly sell foods and drinks. Chemists and pharmacies. Now, don't forget to visit our office supplies. Also, don't forget to get a vaccine while you're buying carrots and bananas. So I don't know what is going on.
Woo! Woo! You're talking about all men.
Wow. Anarchy is saying, Mike, they are demanding COVID tests for essential workers 3 times per week. So Indoor Grow is saying they're trying to crash the economy in Australia. So, now, I kind of wanted to throw this up there. It's in Portuguese. It's from Portuguese America, Brazil. Brasil registra 868 mortes por COVID-19, 34,000 novos casos em 24 horas. So, they've registered 868 deaths and 34,339 new cases in 24 hours. So, 34,000. Let's look at this. Brazil's a second world country, right? Almost first world. If it had a real government, they have the manpower, they have the logistics, they have the infrastructure because the Portuguese built it. They have everything going for them in Brazil. If they got good governance, But then other countries will bring him freedom and bring him back down and get a two-sided war going. So let's just forget about that, right? So let's go into realistic times here. Calculator. So how many tests is that per hour? That's 34.339 divided in 24 hours. That's 1,430 results. So they're testing 1,430 results per hour. I could tell you that's total bullshit. Brazil, they're lucky if they get 1,430. 1,400. What can they? I can't even fathom anything that high in Brazil. So this is it here. Okay. So here, this is it here. So now, okay. So it's 868 people dead. This is in Brazil. So this is the whole country. This is not in Brasilia. This is not in Minas Gerais. This is not in São Paulo. This is just in Brazil. So 868 divided by 24. So 36 people are dying per hour in Brazil from this virus. So if you look at the population of Brazil, it's actually 203 million. Don't go to Wikipedia. It's 203 million. So guys, could somebody... Okay, I need someone to do math there. Don't give me this 666 BS. If there's 203 million people living in your country and 36 people die per day of COVID, or 36 people die per day, what's the percentage? Is it 0.000000001 or 0.0? Like I'd like to know. So the math would be 208 million people, okay? And then you divide that. You know how I know it's 200? It's 203 million. I'm sorry. You know how it's 203? Because I used to volunteer for Census You Counted language, and 203 million people came back with Portuguese as their first language in Brazil. So that's why I say 203 million people. So I would like to know 203 million divided. So 203 million. Let's do this here. So 203 million divided into, what is it? No, it won't work like that. It won't. So you would have to take it back to 0. So it would be 0.53. So like, yeah, it's just nuts. Yeah, so it's 0.00000000001. Yeah, so you see where I'm going with this. This is like, let's go to this one here, back in Portuguese America. Brazil completa 6 meses de vacinação contra COVID-19 com ritmo acelerado. So they're accelerating the more than 40% of Brazilians have received at least one dose, and 30% have completed their second dose. So there it is right there, and it's broken down there. All right, let's keep moving here. So that's what's happening in Brazil. Now let's move over to Argentina. This is kind of important because I kind of want to explain to you guys why I'm talking about this. It's because they're rolling out another lockdown in August, like a big global lockdown in August. And what they want to do, another lockdown, we're going to lose about 2 to 500 million people with the next lockdown, because people are leaving Mexico, people are leaving Brazil, people are leaving Africa, because these lockdowns are destroying those countries and people have nowhere to go. So they run to Canada or run to America or run to a country that's got more of a, let's say, a stabler government than the ones they have in their countries. So people, I don't blame for these people from running away. You know what I'm saying? So right here, llegaron a Argentina otros 768,000 dosis de Sinopharm contra el coronavirus. So, it's arrived in Argentina. It has arrived in Argentina, 768,000 doses. So that is, Argentina recibió 3.5 millones vacaciones. 3.5 million vaccines arrived in Argentina. And thousands protests against mandatory vaccines in Greece. So who's taking all these millions of vaccines when you see like A lot of people, like, I don't know, man. This is from 2 days ago. This was sent to me by somebody. So thousands protest against mandatory vaccines in Greece. This is from July 15th, so a few days ago. Thousands of people protested the mandatory vaccinations and other measures imposed on by the Greek government to tackle the pandemic in Athens, Thessaloniki, and other cities around Greece on Wednesday, alongside 4,000 that turned out in front of the Greek parliament in Athens. Police said several hundred people also took to the streets in the cities of Thessaloniki, Ioannina, and Haralakin for the same reasons. Sorry, guys, I don't speak Greek. But that's what's happening there. Look, you got a priest out there. Everything, man. Everyone's... So, every time you see this, Western media will spin it as a pro-Trump protest, or they would say that people demanding more vaccine rollouts and the Greek government isn't moving fast enough. So they would actually spin this in other countries and say that these people, okay, are actually demanding vaccines. Like, remember we had Supreme Canada on the show the other day where people were fleeing Cuba to get the vaccine. All right. Again, wow. Llegaron 3.5 millones vaccines de Moderna, and from the United States of America, 36 million. Oh, 3.5 mil vacunas. So that's like skids. 36 million doses has arrived. Sorry, I read that wrong. It's just 36 million doses. 3.5 mil vacunas. Wow, that's a lot of skids. That's a lot of skids, man. Holy smokes. That's a lot of cases, man. Holy smokeroos.
You're talking about all men.
All right, let's go here. México confirma más 2,800 nuevos contagios por COVID. So again, more cases in Mexico from COVID. And there's the drop right there. Let me show you this. This is what Mexican News is reporting. Here it is here. Incrementa 20% porcentaje número de los casos estimados de COVID-19. So there it is right there. This is their cases going up now. So prepare for an August-September lockdown in the West. God bless America. And I just kind of want to throw that out there. I'm going to get another guest on the show soon, guys. Don't worry. And China-U.S. relations, Beijing threatens to deal head-on blow after latest sanctions over Hong Kong. Washington accused of making unprovoked smears after it warns businesses of heightened risk of operating in the city. Hong Kong liaison's office says the latest sanctions will do nothing other than fuel our contempt and arouse our strong will to fight. China could go to hell. Like, the Communist Party could go straight to hell, right? Watch my video of why China could go to hell. You guys could watch that. Movie theaters, casinos, and more can open fully vaccinated Manitobans on Saturday. Oh, God bless America. Let's get a Manitoban. I talked to the Raven the other day, and he was crying. So he should be available now. And see what he has to say here. Raven, turn on your phone, unless he's driving. Guys, don't forget to get on our Discord, guys. Mike in the Night Discord. Somebody leave a link in the live chat. Discord. We're on the Mike in the Night text channel live. I'm here now. I'm just going to say hello to anyone on there. So the Raven's phone is turned off. So I'm not sure why his phone... I guess he's probably driving. So we got Anthony Ruvalacaba in the house, Canadian Commie Party. We need to get Anthony Ruvalacaba back on the show. Someone dropped the message. Oh, here we go. Here we go. What? What is this? Okay. This came from... So, guys, we're on our Discord here. Oh, it's the Raven calling. Hey, Raven, what's up, buddy?
How's it going?
Good. Is your phone okay to talk?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm at my parents' place and just visiting, but I'm in the veranda, so...
Oh, you're on the
porch.
veranda. So if people living in the United States, the veranda is a porch.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a second floor
It's a porch.
condominium kind of gazebo screened in with glass.
Oh,
Yeah,
hurricane screens?
I don't know. They're screens.
I'm just breaking your balls. Okay, Raven, dude, you see how worked up I am tonight, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm going to the Human Rights Museum on the 27th. I'll get it on video.
Okay, please send it to me on
tax-
Skype. You know
Yeah.
you're not allowed to go there because you don't have both vaccines.
I'm not. Yeah, well, my tax dollars pay for that place, so I want my human rights to be violated going to a Human Rights Museum. I see the irony in that. So I'm going to make a scene. I might get arrested. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But
I haven't decided if I'm getting arrested today.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, that's going to be, it's the Human Rights Museum today. Tomorrow's at Safeway. You don't see where this is going? Mm-hmm. They're not going to let little pockets of people just live around. Oh, they don't want the jab. They're okay. They can just go live there. No. This is going. They got all their chips in, man. All the chips are on the table. If we stopped COVID right now, if we stopped it right now and backed away, they'd be looking at decades of us examining everything they did. Mm-hmm. Can't do that. We can never go to examination time. We can't do that. This is chips all in until they got us in their control method. So they're going until we're enslaved.
All or nothing.
And all or nothing. They have no choice at this point. All the chips are in. They're going. They're not backing down. They've gone this far. They will never stop. So you can bet that you will never be allowed to live a free person unless you have that job. So you got to make a decision on how you want to live the rest of your life. I've come to terms with that. I'm not running. I'll stay if everybody gets together, and I'm not going to run from that. But if it's going down and we're going down, I'm out of here.
Okay, well, I got something here from your province. Movie theaters, casinos, and more can open to fully vaccinated Manitoban. Gathering sizes increase. Most businesses can reopen at 50% capacity this weekend under new rules. This is from 2 days ago. And then you go back to Australia, they're in full lockdown. And then you read that first article where I was arm bashing for 10 minutes straight, how 91% of New Zealanders already have acknowledged and say that it's okay, we know we'll never get back to normal. So they're massaging us into accepting this BS.
Yeah, I don't believe their news stories. I don't believe their numbers, their news stories. I don't believe any. It's all perception management, eh? Everything in this world is perception. I don't believe their numbers. I'm not going to believe it.
I just showed you how many people per hour are dying in Brazil, how many people per hour are getting tested. You can't do that. And we just had a guy in Australia call us that the test centers are empty. There's nobody there.
Yeah, I typed a story in the room there. I'll tell you. Can I tell it to you real quick? It's about 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
Minute and a half. I took my Corvette down to the Forks. It's downtown. It's a tourist area, downtown Winnipeg. It's like where everybody goes. It's the place to hang out for everybody. It's the rivers connect there. It's got some old antique stores, big old railway buildings. They turned into stores and restaurants, a walkway along the river. So people go there. So I took my Corvette for a cruise, and I pulled up beside the sidewalk, not like right by the parking area, but closer to the sidewalk where everyone walks. And I was just pulled up, turned my car off, and this guy and his wife pushing a little baby. And the guy grabs his wife's arm and starts yelling, 63 Corvette, split window, split window. He just got I've never seen anybody get so excited to see a car. The guy was just freaking out, and he ran up to my car, and he looks in the window, the passenger, and he goes, "That's 63 split window. They made 10,594 of these." I was like, holy crap. He was just so excited, eh? And his wife come up, and I talked to him for a minute. I said, "You want to ride?" And he said, "Oh," and his wife goes, go ahead. So I gave him a ride, 5-10 minutes, just took him for a quick spin, just punched it in first gear. Eh? The guy was all smiles. Eh? You couldn't see anyone happier in his life to be in a car. And I thought, man, I said to him, I hope this made your day. He goes, "This made my life." He said, "I built 11 of these cars as a little kid with my dad, the models, eh?" Mm-hmm. He has all the colors. He goes, "I have them at home on my shelf." This guy's like 35. He goes, "I got them at home on my shelf." He goes, "When I saw your car, my heart just dropped. I've never seen one in person." He said, "One of these cars. We go to car shows. I've never seen one. And today I seen one, and it's a sign." It goes, this made my life." And I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, Yeah, he goes, my dad went and got vaccinated a month ago. 2 days after his vaccine, he fell sick. 2 weeks in the hospital, he had a heart attack and passed away. He died 10 days ago. When I turned around and saw your car there, I just thought of my dad who built those models with me. He said, he thought that his dad sent me there for him to see that car. It was amazing. I don't even know why I went there. He said, when I saw your car, all I thought of was my dad. He's okay. He's in heaven. And he's telling me it's okay. Here's your favorite car. It was amazing to me. I was amazed. And I pulled up at the sidewalk and I talked to him and his wife for a few minutes. I showed him the motor and everything. And then when I got back to my car, I opened the door and I looked over at them and I said, hey, he looked at me and I said, your dad did send me. And then I jumped in my car and I drove away. It was amazing. Amazing. But his dad passed away from the vaccine. Good story, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually very good. That actually moved me.
Yeah, I know. I tear up when I tell that story. I was like, you can hear my voice. I can't even talk. Like, it just blew me away. I was like, was I just part of something there? You know? But yeah, amazing. It blew my mind. Unfortunate that his dad passed away, but quite the story.
Yeah, I lost a good friend in Vancouver the other day in the hospital. He passed away. He was 39 years old.
Well, the chiropractor in Winnipeg who ran the protests last year, I worked with his niece. I worked with her, and she has two friends who passed away. One of them was her friend's kid, 10 years old in Winnipeg, and another one was her friend's dad. So that's three that I've heard of here in Winnipeg. And my brother's neighbor hasn't got out of bed since he got it 2 weeks ago. My neighbor's arms all broken out in sores. Our friend at work, his daughter's got pericarditis. I can go around. I don't talk to a lot of people, but just in that small circle, like look at the numbers. The true numbers must be astronomical. Like,
can I say something?
Sure.
Okay. Well, how many people do you know die of actual COVID?
There were 60 guys at work that got COVID, and one guy had a sore throat. I don't know anyone who died of it.
Oh, okay. So how many people do you know died of the vaccine? You could probably name 13 in the next half hour.
Well,
so here's the problem with this. You see the problem with this?
Yeah. Oh, hey, I saw the problem a long time ago, man. Yeah, it's obvious. A bigger question is, why don't other people see the problem?
I don't know, man. Because they're so believing in the science. They're pro-science. I think science is the biggest bullshit religion in the world, is science. Biggest bullshit. Oh, Mike, if without science, you couldn't have electricity in your house. Don't make me tell you the atmosphere in the area and the stinky warehouse they were in when they were trying to invent electricity. It's not no scientific friggin' laboratory, okay? So don't tell me, okay? It's ingenuity, it's man moving forward, it's people being sick of being left in the dark, okay? Yeah. It's not science.
Yeah. If you look at all the stories coming out, like the Attorney General in Washington subpoenaed Facebook for the names and geographical locations of anybody posting misinformation online. And they're talking to CSIS now in Canada, trying to come down harder on the social media. You can see what's happening, eh? Like, this is going to progressively, and it's going to get harder and faster, more rights quicker, more pain. It's picking up speed, eh? And remember, this all started with the trade wars. They had to cause hardship to work us into a COVID lockdown. They couldn't just slam us with the COVID lockdown. Yeah. That would have riled us too much. They had to take millions of jobs for 18 months with the trade wars first. The trade wars were soft preparation for this. Like, that's what I always said. I thought that back when it was happening. Why would you do this to a country, Trump, for an $800 billion trade deficit? Why are you doing this? You're killing economies, you're killing all these people's jobs, and for what, 800 billion? Now they're printing trillions like it's a joke. Pallister's handing out $5,000 in Winnipeg to anybody who hires a vaccinated employee. We're now splitting into a two-tier society, you know, and you go volunteer for the jab, then you get shamed and pressured for the jab, and then you have your briberies with your lotteries for the jab, and now we're going into regulation changes and laws and two-tier society, and then we'll go into force. The camps will be here right across the board within a year. So you go into a camp, I don't think you're coming out of a camp if you're not willing to be re-educated and take that stuff. I don't think you're coming out. So that's I've come to terms with that a long time ago, man. I see where this is going. You can see it, and it's coming fast. It's unbelievable. I don't think people that have taken the vaccine should be driving airplanes, driving trains, driving cars. I don't think anybody should be in a position to harm another human in any kind of motorized vehicle, airplane, or anything if they've taken that vaccine. I think that should be against the law. But they're not going to do that. So if you're near a road, Mike, you're not safe.
Yeah, explain that to us. Break that down.
Well, people say, "Oh, I'm going to get some land, move away." You're not going to run from this. They're not going to let anybody go and live pockets of humans like that. That's not going to happen. This is all or nothing.
They're going to be actually imprisoning. This is what I've heard. They're going to be removing people that live off grid. They're actually going to be looking for them. And people are going to get rewards if you turn in somebody that's living off grid. I've been hearing this. I don't know how they're going to put this through, but they're actually going to start looking for people that live off grid and have them. They have a term for it. They need to be tagged.
Yeah, they're a threat, right? They're a threat to the system. They can't. You have to be digitally into this system.
Where are you right now?
Are you there?
Yeah. Are you home? Where are you? Are you driving?
No, sorry. No. I accidentally hit the phone there. Yeah, you have to be in their system. If you're not in their system, then you're a threat to their system. They don't want anything. It's like Germany back in World War II. Hitler kicked out the bankers and tried to start his own system. Mm-hmm. Well, look at how it turned out for him. It's a threat. Anything that they want complete global control. They're not going to have people who think that they're going to do their own thing. No, you're not going to be doing your own thing. They're going to gather you up, round you up, put you in a camp, unless you can hide. And if I suggest you go far, like I'm not talking in a desert, unless you can find a cave or something, I don't know. But most areas, like we live in Canada, and I'm sure there's places in the States where you can walk into places that are so deep and dense. The one thing you got to worry about, what I figure you got to worry about, is your heat signature. That's it. When you're set up and you're far away in that, your only thing you really have to worry about is your heat signature. That's something that I'm working on right now. That's the one concern I have.
If you're in the southern parts of the United States, even a good portion of Mexico, all you need is a good rain tarp. If you don't have much, a good rain tarp, a good rope to tie between two trees, tarp it out. All you need is just protection from the rain. In most places in the South. In Canada, you need protection from all sorts of elements from nature. Like Canada's tough. Yeah, it's a tough one.
I'm staging my things. I'm staging 100 miles away from here. That's where I'm staging. From there, I move from there.
Don't go north though. It's too cold, dude.
You know what? I commercial fished on Lake Winnipeg, 20 miles out, 12 hours a day in the open out there, minus 36. I know what the weather can do to you. It'll freeze you up and you're done. And that's insane weather, pulling nets under the ice for 12 hours a day. That's what we did, 24 years old.
I would strongly recommend, if you can. I don't even know if we could even travel anywhere anymore. But get into some like southern, like Guerrero, Mexico, south of Guerrero area.
No. There's
even Baja California. You go south to Baja all the way at the bottom, not at the bottom, but close enough. You find a lot of small towns on the way that you could kind of disappear in for a good while if you had to.
I'm talking years. I'm looking at a $4,000 canvas tent with a chimney attachment. That's where I'm going. Years. You're not. And what do you reemerge into? I would rather die alone than die a slave. That's what it's going to come down to. And you know what? Most people won't be able to accept that. They'll ridicule that. But guess what? It's going to happen. It takes people so long to come to terms with what's going on here. Look at what's happening. You can see the progression. This is the real deal, man. It's a real deal. We all know it's bogus. I don't know why we know, why no one else knows. Well, a lot of people know actually, but the majority. And my friend got an email today. It says, "Good evening, so and so. We have inheritance linked to your email. Could you please provide us with your name and address so that we can verify who you are and that we can send the inheritance direct via email to you. And he looks at me and he goes, can you believe people fall for this?
Yeah.
And I said, yes. Yes, I can. Now I can. I believe people will fall for anything now. That's it. And I always thought those emails, like, who falls for this? Guess what? 80% fall for that.
We found a pipeline in Nigeria. Or
Yeah.
there's an oil well in Nigeria. We need you to send us over 10,000 to the prince.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one out there before that said, oh, your friend off your contact list is in jail in Mexico. Could you please send for bail money, 5,000 for bail money? And yeah, they get crafty, sneaky, you know? So yeah, that's it. I have, that's my plan C. My plan B is to stay, and I'm not going to run. I'm not going to leave people behind here, you know, but if it looks like it's crazy, then yeah. And I got a lot of friends here too that have done double tours in Afghanistan. My one buddy, he was just, I let him use my cottage there for a few days this week. And he was a sniper in Afghanistan, and he's seen lots of action out there. And he says, eventually, he has 2 little kids. He says, eventually they're going to come after his kids, say you're not a fit parent because you're not vaccinated. You know, he says, you want to see someone go crazy, take their kids away from them. So he's got a plan too. He's going north. While his wife and kids are going north, he's staying behind. He's going to stay here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he says it's going to be a running game. So I don't know what that entails, but yeah, sounds. I go straight for the worst case scenario, Mike, because I see it going there. Living off grid, like what's her name that comes on here? Your guest there. She was from Wall Street Stackers there.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Fringe.
She lives off grid. You know, that's great, and she's smart, and she just wants to be away and does that, and I'm sure they've gained lots of knowledge doing that, but I don't see them leaving them alone. I don't see that they're going to be able to just go, okay, you just do your own thing. And if you ever need supplies, you can't go into a store, you can't bank, you can't go to a hospital, you can't go anywhere. That's coming. I think everybody can agree that's coming. Mm-hmm. You will not bank without the mark. Ask Tig, Revelations 13, 16, 18, and you will not bank without that mark. Right? The people running this show were here a long time before the Bible. And I seem to realize now that the majority of our life is a lie. You know, pretty much the majority of everything that we ever thought. And as we awaken to what's going on, because only certain of us will, you know, we all start to look around and realize this is all a lie. The whole thing was a lie. You know, and even what they're doing now is a lie. But people, like Obama said in his speech, ordinary people are too simple-minded to take care of their own affairs. Mm-hmm. And then they are, you know. So, I don't see good things.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, why am I even going to work at this point? It's going to come there. You know, I should sell my last property here, and I don't even know what to do. I don't think gold and silver are going to save you because you're not going to be in their system. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, I don't care about stocks or crypto. Unless you're going into their system and taking that job, you can forget all that. You can forget your stocks. You can forget everything that you have. You either fight or hide, or you take the job.
Okay. Raven, I got a name to throw out there, and I want to know what first comes to mind. Hillary Clinton. Your friend.
People say she died.
Oh, come on, man! Die? You crazy?
I see rumors of it online. Mm-hmm. You know, she died, eh? Like, I'll put a comment, you know, online, and someone will go, you know, she died, eh?
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to. You know what? I'll go on and do an hour on TikTok here once in a while. I've seen Matthew on there before. I'll go on TikTok and I'll argue with doctors and Americans about. You gotta stop thinking Trump is some kind of hero. He's in on it. It's Trump, Epstein, Trump, Fauci, and Gates are key to this being played out.
Obama.
Those people. Obama's smaller. Obama's like Theresa Tam. You know, they're all key, but they're lower level. Mm-hmm. Trump, the acting that he does, the stuff that he pulls, it's all choreographed.
Tito Santana.
It's like a soap opera. Mm-hmm. He's your favorite hero. Yeah, I tell these people, you got to find heroes in each other, not in these false prophets. You have to find them within and within each other. You have to stand together. It's not going to
Listen,
happen.
listen, look, let me make something really clear here right now for people listening, okay? People are fleeing Cuba to get the vaccine because they're not rolling it out in Cuba.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to say in mainstream media. People
Yeah,
fleeing
no.
Cuba to get the vaccine.
No. I watched the video in Africa at a boarding school, a higher end boarding school. They were jumping out of the second floor windows trying to get away from the mandatory vaccines. They're jumping out of the windows, like dozens of them. You could see the parking lot, the ladies narrating, they're running from the vaccines, and they're just running across the parking lots trying to get away. People don't want it. People are awake now. The ones that haven't taken it yet are now listening and seeing, and they're like, oh God, maybe, there's a lot of problems. But they play it down so much. They hide all, like, look at how they glorify everything to do with COVID, and everything that doesn't even have to do with COVID, they glorify as COVID. Mm-hmm. Anything vaccines, anything, it's all swept, hidden. You can't even report on it, Like my mom said, everything's a lie at this point. It's all a lie. Everything they're doing, it's all perception management, trying to get us further, deeper. They want those camps. And guess what? These lockdowns, like I said before, you put a man in a room, turn out the lights for 4 hours, turn on the light for 1 minute, turn it off for 4 hours, turn it on for 1 minute, repeat that cycle for 2 days. That man will do or say anything you want to get out of that room. It's the same with these lockdowns. They lock us down, they let us out. They lock us down, they let us out. Okay. They're breaking our will. They're breaking our will. They give us a little bit of joy, take it away. Give us a little, take it away. It's all psychological, and they know it. And for all cults in the world to be successful, a cult must do one thing. Do you know what that one thing is that a cult must do in order to be successful 80% of the time? They must all wear at least one piece of clothing that matches, and that's the mask. And then you can start breaking down their will, and they become submissive. Is they have to share something in common, and it's the mask. These guys have been working at this for years. It's like you'll study this for like decades in that. But I also believe what's coming will probably rival the Great Flood. It's going to be. We used to talk about a global collapse of the economy, and I thought, I'll hide out at my cottage. No, I ain't hiding out there. Anywhere where there's a road, you're not hiding from this. You won't be able to assimilate with societies.
So what do you think they have? So what do you think they have in plan for? They're pushing. They got it in the works. We're seeing all the deaths. The so-called. So let's go back over here from South America. Who is like even from Australia? So people living here in Canada and the United States. So here it is here. This is allowed. Who is allowed to travel and work? So they're already segregating people. Who's allowed to travel and work in Australia? Then you go into Brazil here. They're saying 868 people dead from COVID and 34,339 new cases in 24 hours. How many cases was that an hour? Like 2,600 or 3,000 cases an hour that they're testing for? I don't believe that. And then you're seeing it here. Brazil complète ces mesures de vaccination against COVID-19. With a rhythm of acceleration, 40% of Brazilians have received and 30% have got the second. So why are they coming after other people? Like, what's the point if they're getting this, if so-called? Here is Spanish news here. This is in Argentina. Arriban, Argentina, otros 768,000 doses. So there it is, contra el coronavirus. So what is going on here? Like you're getting, then you get this in Greece, where there got tens of thousands of people protesting against mandatory vaccines, and then you got more Moderna shots, 36 million doses arriving in Argentina. Then you got Mexico. So the curve is going up. So according to Mexico here, the curve is going up in Mexico. This is from the Lo Saludo de Mexico. It's saying right here, and this is from 15th of July. Casos por incidentes y activos estimados y personas recuperándose por semana. So there it is in the pandemic. So there it is right there. So there I could see it right now. They're forming the bell curve right now, Raven. They're forming the bell curve. It's coming from South America and Mexico, and they're forming the bell curve to come to the north, and they're going to be big lockdowns in August, September. What do you think is going to happen with that?
Well, look at the presidents they killed there, those black presidents.
Well, hold
And
on. There's
what's
5
the curve?
presidents.
What's the curve? Yeah, 5.
5
What's
in
the curve
Africa that
those
died in the
countries
last
right
3
now?
months.
Yeah, but what's the COVID in those countries? Because I bet it escalates after they get their vaccines.
0.
It's going to escalate. You know, what's going to happen after? And then we're going to see it spike. But they eat a lot of ivermectin too, and hydrochloroquine.
Yes, that's legal there, and they've been. I know in Mozambique. I have a friend who works in government for substance control
in Mozambique.
Huh?
Yeah, because they have malaria and they eat hydrochloroquine like candy out there.
Right. So my friend is a health. He works with the health ministry, and he works in 2 different divisions, and he's an elected official. Okay, in Maputo, and he messaged me in Portuguese, and he tells me, "Hey, Mike, how's your family? How's everything? Look, we're letting people this and that, blah, blah, blah." There's nothing like there. The news is telling like people in Brazil from Mozambique, because they both speak Portuguese, all these cases in Mozambique, but then he's saying that but there's nothing like this happening in Mozambique. But then why are we getting this news from Brazil that all this stuff is happening? But then I call somebody down in Brazil. I wanted to get my friend Manuel Santos on the show, but he doesn't speak English. He only speaks Portuguese. I wanted to get him on the show here to tell us what's going on, because he's a nurse who quit from a big hospital in Sao Paulo because he refused to get the jab, and there's like he says like it's not nothing is correlating to what they're telling us on the news.
No, it's perception management. Everything. It's BS. I don't trust any of their numbers. They're lying. The whole thing is a lie, Mike. But they can't report the truth.
I think they're pushing this bell curve. You're going to start seeing it go up, and then we're going to see lockdowns in August, September in Canada, and the United States.
Back in China in the beginning, remember they had those people just drop dead from COVID. They stopped doing that. I watched half a dozen of those people on CCTV cameras. They were walking down the street. Oh, another one died, just fell over and died. They stopped doing that, right? Like within 2 weeks. And then they brought in those incendiary furnaces and those containers, 20 of them, showed it all on TV. It's all perception management. They're scaring the crap out of the West. Then when it got here, we all ran in our homes. It's all perception. They're perceiving. And people eat it up, just like they would give your name and their name and address to get that inheritance from the email. They eat it up. They're just not there. They're too simple-minded to take care. You know, only so many people have a brain. You come to that term. It really woke me up to looking at where you are on the intellectual food chain of this planet, man. Because there's a lot of people down there.
I love
China. They just don't care. They suck it up. It's unbelievable. Mike, I went downtown a couple days ago there, and I park at the Tim Hortons, and I seem to always talk to the homeless people down there because they're on the ground, and I'm curious about what's going on down there. They told me within the last 24 hours, they had 5 friends die from carfentanil downtown Winnipeg. 5 in 24 hours.
Oh yeah, that shit's laced with a bunch of crap, and that stuff isn't real, and that's coming from China, Chinese factories.
Is it coming from China?
It is. Majority.
Is it?
The CBC, look, our news media actually covered this for 3 months. They had a 3-month coverage of this where they broke down the factories in China. They actually show the factories in China, break it down and how the money gets laundered. And that's why they're using fentanyl proceeds sales through money laundering through our housing system as part of our GDP. I'm not making this up. Better Dwelling covered it too.
I always knew they were worried about population control in the world, like for years, but I have only in the last year come to realize every single thing they do is about population control, from the fluoride in the water to the GMO foods to the chemtrails to the LED lights on your street lights that trick your circadian clock into thinking it's daytime, which disrupts your melatonin, which hinders your reproduction. Everything. Coating bottles with polymers. Every country has a program. That's all they care about. They do it in our food, in everything. The diseases, everything is to try and tamp down this population. They have to do it. I don't think they have a solution for it. Well, now they do. But it was always about that. And if we don't do something about it, I believe that we are in a very bad spot. Like, I agree population has to come down. I know you probably don't agree. We could fit everybody in Texas, but it's our resources. Our grains are gone. Our fish will be gone. Clean drinking water, I think we use 70% of it for irrigating crops. This has to be dealt with. And these people are there. They know what's going on. I think you got to look at all different angles and common sense and look at it and go, you're right. We can't keep going on like this, eh? but everything's about tamping that number down. And I think those that fentanyl, sure, they love it. Let it into this country. Let it into every city, and it takes out the bottom rung, which gives
And
the
it wipes
perception.
out. It wipes the middle class out too, because then the proceeds from the fentanyl get reinvested into real estate.
Yeah, and it wipes out the bottom rung, which gives the perception that everything's okay because you don't got any homeless walking around. You know, it's got everything works in their favor. Every single thing out there works in their favor. It's hard to find something that doesn't. The things that their problems when they architected this, their problems are vaccine hesitancy. That's a huge problem, is vaccine hesitancy. And another one is social media. So you can see now when they went to the G7, I believe that they had some hard meetings on vaccine hesitancy, and they had some hard meetings on protests and social media, because it's growing. You know, you look at the protest in where was it, Greece, in Athens, Greece.
They're spinning that as a pro. No, not a pro-Trump. They're actually. There's one media source out of New Zealand, and there's one media source that I know of out of London. They're actually spinning that as Greece is not doing enough to vaccinate its public, and people are protesting that they need better vaccine rollouts.
Yeah, they're spinning everything.
Like people are fleeing Cuba to get the vaccine in Florida.
You know what? Anything you hear anywhere, you have to approach it. Okay, this is probably a lie, but what is it? Could it be something else? Could it be another reason? Like when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left the royal family, did the interview people? And call Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
The bald guy?
No, he's Prince Harry. I don't know. No, the bald guy's his brother.
I don't know. Okay, yeah.
The Prince Andrew.
Does he sing
right?
Purple Rain and 1999?
Prince Andrew, Prince Harry. No. Yeah, and that's another guy too. I watched him the other day. He was trying to warn us too, and he ended up dead.
Michael Jack.
But Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left, and then they did an interview calling the royal family racist. And I couldn't figure out, like, well, why would you do that to your own family? Why don't you just leave? You're not happy, leave. But they called them out on national television, and I couldn't wrap my mind around it until I saw him a month later pushing the vaccine at a concert. Everybody should get vaxxed. Then I realized, he's New World Order. And the interview was to help ignite the race war. It's to help build up, because they're doing it in all angles, everything. They're throwing everything at us, from Indigenous kids in schoolyards to BLM and Antifa Proud Boys. It's everywhere. Gay, straight, mask, no mask, vax. They took away sports and made new teams, and it's us against the house divided cannot stand. They can do, and that's how they're rolling in. Get the masks on. They're hitting us from all angles, you know. And unless you're aware of all these different angles, then you're a sitting duck, because you're going to fall prey to one of them. And a lot of the people we know have fallen prey, and now their ego, it prohibits them from even listening to us or thinking that we may be right. They fall prey to that. So you got to be aware of all these ways that they're trying to come at you. It's everything. We have to stand united. I don't care what color you are. You're either a brother and sister of mine. We are all brothers and sisters. We all have to stand together. They're trying to make us hate each other. They're trying to cause confusion, division, demoralization, distractions, everything they can throw. They're throwing the kitchen sink at this. The chips are all in, right? We have to realize this, recognize it, and we have to stay strong, and we have to squash all this hatred. We have to fight it and stop it and educate people on it, because that's what they're throwing at us. And they're doing a brilliant job at it. But and then again, everybody thinks Trump is a savior. Trump is part of the division. That guy was he was groomed for that. 6 years on The Apprentice. They got him right and ready, you know. And they use misdirection all the time. They misdirect you. Hillary ran against Trump. Linda Rothschild held $100,000 a dinner for Hillary. But funny thing is, they picked Trump years earlier to be president. That's misdirection. They're using misdirection. They're separating themselves from the government. We are not. The government's going to take the brunt of this. The government's the bad guy, but the government is just a low down level on the pyramid. You know, you have higher ups that are the ones calling the shots. They're the architects of this. And yeah, we have a big battle, and it's coming down hard, and you can see. So either fight or hide. That's your two choices, or take the job.
I got some good news. People that took the jab, Ontario couple cancel honeymoon trip to Barbados after vaccine mix is not approved. Wow.
Yeah,
So
I'm running into people that are now regretting taking the jab. Guys I work with that didn't know. They didn't know. They just thought, I just thought I was doing the right thing. Like now they're regretting it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I feel sorry for them. I'm not going to call them names, and I feel sorry for them. They're just human beings. They made a bad choice. You can't throw someone away just for that. It's the ones that call you names and call you anti-vax, or you're an idiot, and they call you names, So, and their egos are so strong that they're so vested in their decision, they can never come back to our side. You could have people drop dead all around them from the vaccine, and they'll still say it's our fault.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're going to blame unvaccinated people.
We are the plague now. Like Biden says, the unvaccinated are the plague now. So they're going to hate us. They're going to come after us. Even the vaccinated, they will vilify us. They will come after us. They will shun us. And they will vote against us. So it's an uphill battle for people that know what's going on, unfortunately. With brains comes some setbacks, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But would you rather be a sheep and live that life, or would you rather be aware? I would rather be aware, like for myself.
Intelligence is half the battle, right? Knowing is half the battle, right?
But like I'm sure a lot of people in this room, you wake up in the morning, it's on your mind, it consumes you 24/7, it consumes you, and you're beating your brain inside, looking for a way out, looking for a weak link in their plan, looking for something. What can we do? How can we fix this? What's going to happen? It just consumes you over and over. They're destroying everything on this planet for this. Everything.
Well, I got something to throw in there to make you feel better. School curriculum in Canada disputes view of math as objective discipline, or argues it has been used to normalize racism. So how is math normalizing racism? Maybe we should get Layla to explain that, because she understands language better than we. Huh?
I've heard math is racist. I've heard that.
Dude, I'm racist. Okay.
No, well, you know what? Everybody is racist.
Everybody.
It's not on purpose, though. It's like you lie 200 times a day. That's what they say on average, even with your eyes. And it's so in a molecular level, everybody is. I watched a professor talk about it, and if you can be true with yourself, you can see. It's not that you're intentionally trying to do that. It's just that it's the condition of your whole life, and it's not that you're going around calling names. It's small, little tiny things, but they are in nature. They could be classified as racist, but it's not that you would intentionally do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this in the small microcosms of racism. Like, it's hard to explain. But you know what? I think if everybody just tries not to be and knows, we know now we have a common enemy. I think everybody knows that now. So, but they're making our friends and family enemies of us now.
Yes, they're dividing. And I kept telling people in the last morning coffees for Mike, guys, you need to unite with each other. If you're living in the same house, you're not talking to each other because of some BS crap you selling you, stop it. Because that's what they're winning.
I'm hearing lots of stories about people like that I know and friends at work and that saying, well, I can't go over to my mom and dad's house because they're vaccinated and they don't want me there because I'm not vaccinated.
I love China.
People aren't going on vacations because, one's not vaccinated. People sleeping in different rooms. They take it. And you see people out there, they're just like, get your mask on. And like, oh God, how do you even explain to someone like that?
No, you can't. We're beyond that. We're beyond that now, Raven. Turning or waking up people or getting people on board with, like, let's just even like challenging the status quo. They're demoting scientists, they're demoting climatologists, they're demoting vaccinologists, they're throwing people under the bus, they're calling them racists, they're digging up crap about their past so they could demoralize them, so that they no longer serve a purpose, right?
Look at Dr. Francis there, in cardiology professor, University of Saskatchewan. They took his license away from him because he said, I don't believe that it's safe for children of this age to be taking this vaccine. So they brought in the medical board and had an investigation with him there, and he spoke to them and said, you guys, you're going against science. You're literally going against science. And then the medical board said, well, Francis, we're really worried about your mental state. And we feel that certain people may have influenced you and got you to think in different ways. And we want you to know that the AMS is here for you if you need someone to talk to. We have people that are educated in this field, in our psychology, because we're very worried about your mental state, Francis. And we know you're a highly intelligent man, but we are concerned about what your thought process. So we have to revoke your license, and we have people that you can talk. They just shut him right down, belittled his mental state. You know how smart that guy is? He's a cardiology professor at the University of Saskatchewan. The guy has probably got 150, 160 IQ. He knows what's going on. He's telling them, you're going against science. They don't care. They don't care. Whatever they got to do, whatever they got to do or say. I just can't believe so many people are on that side carrying out the work of the devil. Even the people that are listening to this show right now that are not normal guests, the people who are wearing uniforms and that have cards and badges that are listening, where's your moral compass? If you can't see what's going on, there's something wrong with your brain. Like you can't look at a little bit of information. It's not conspiracy. When Carrie Mullis comes out in interview after interview and tells you they're using the cycle threshold too high on H1N1, on AIDS, on SARS, on MERS. Fauci's been doing it for decades, but it gets him more grant money. It gets him more vaccines distributed. If he can manipulate the numbers, he's misusing my PCR test. He's doing interviews with Dateline and W5. He's giving out interviews. They covered the AIDS topic. They're misusing my PCR test. It's not even made for testing for a coronavirus. It's not made for that. They're misusing it. Well, guess what? Carrie Mullis died August 7th, 2019, conveniently at 74 years old of pneumonia. Because guess what? If that guy was out here right now on the floor going, hey, it's my PCR test. I won the Nobel Prize for creating it. And these guys can't use it for this because they're getting 100% false positives when you cycle the threshold that high. Anybody looks at that, watch those interviews. You'll know. They jacked all the numbers to get the lockdowns. And then you got all these people that don't even have COVID but tested positive. Now you got Fauci saying, oh, asymptomatic, you can still spread it. Well, now we know from Fauci's emails that he was a liar. He's a liar, none of them. But we have the chief microbiologist from Manitoba came out 2 weeks ago and said 56% of our cases were non-infectious. So our lockdowns were BS. It wasn't even a pandemic.
Well, you need a 21% or 26% death rate.
Yeah, the whole thing's bogus. And then you got the health minister. I can't remember the state. She talked like.
Oh, it's the ugly one. The ugly one. I know who you're talking about.
No, not that one. It was a darker lady, and she said, "Let's just get this straight. You test positive for COVID, and let's say you were in a long-term care home and you were given a couple weeks to live, but you did test positive for COVID, and then you died of natural causes. We still record you as a COVID death. But let's get this straight." Even if you tested positive, which we know the majority of them were 100% false positives, even if you tested positive and let's say die in a car crash, we still record you as COVID. You're starting to realize how they got their numbers to 4 million? Yeah? Yeah, you jump out of an airplane in 2020, your chute doesn't open, you die to COVID. You get a needle in 2021, you die 4 hours later, that's a coincidence. Yeah, okay. Who can't see this? Like, really? Who can't see it? Come on, raise your hands. Who can't see this? It's comical to me, but it's not, because I see what's coming. It's two-tier society. I'm not going, eventually it's going to be, wait till the first grocery store where you buy food that says only vaccinated.
France. I had, what was his name? Manny? No, his name's not Manny. Hold on, I got his name right here. He emailed me. Let me just open the email. He got taken away in handcuffs because did not have his he's not vaccinated, but he doesn't have a vaccination card. He told me he left it at home, and he went to buy groceries, and they arrested him for not proving proof. He got into the store. He was in. He didn't run in. He just walked in like normal. They asked him for. He said he forgot it at home. The guy let him in. He said, "Go. It's fine. You forgot it at home. That's fine. Go grocery." Then someone said, "Oh, how did you let him in?" They got him. They arrested him on site and took him away. He was in jail for 3 days.
Yeah, my two buddies went to a restaurant the other day. They asked for their vaccination cards at the door, and they said we were not vaccinated. They said, "Well, you got to go sit out on the patio. Then you can't come in the restaurant." What happens in the winter, Mike, when you can't sit on the patio? You know?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you wait in Canada, wait for the first restaurant or the first grocery store to say only vaccinated people. What do you think's coming first? What do you think's it's already in restaurants?
Well, New Zealand is already saying they're going to hunt people down and get them vaccinated in New Zealand.
Yeah. Well, look at India and the Philippines. There was that video, that guy, they chased him up on the roof of the house.
I sent you that link, right?
Yeah,
that was in Argentina. That was Argentina.
Oh, Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pinned him down on the roof. He's yelling, and they vaxxed him. And then, okay, next.
Yeah, it was suéltame, por favor.
Yeah. So you just got to look at Canada. What's going to happen here? Okay, we got restaurants, privately owned restaurants. You know what? They're going to go for hospitals, or there's going to be some 2-tier hospital, something when it starts going hospitals, and then but the big one is grocery stores and then banks. You know, it's coming, man. And I would think that within a year, if I stay in the city, within a year I'd be in a camp. Within a year from now. Yeah, the big push is coming. We get this freedom right now in Canada. It's pretty open here right now, except for the vaccine BS at the restaurants.
Again, I think they're doing this bell curve, this curve, it's coming back up. So we can see.
They're just turning the light on for 1 minute right now.
Yeah, I think they're warming it up, because you're seeing here, they're in Portuguese here, they got 34,000 new cases in Brazil in the last 24 hours. Of course, that's 3,000 or 1,700 tests per hour. It's all BS. But they're actually starting to warm it up in South America and Argentina over here. And this is in Portuguese. You go to Spanish here, Argentina, and then you go over here to Mexico. The bell curve's going up.
Yeah, and Biden sent out $1 trillion in stimulus to those countries, 50 million, 100 million, $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how much did he send out there for you to lock your country down? Here's $100 million. Lock your country down. Yeah, okay. No problem. 100 million, sure, I'll lock it down.
So I'm seeing this move because they're in the southern hemisphere, right? And Australia is in the southern hemisphere, and so is New Zealand. Everything's all going crazy down there. Here, everything's like free and clear. But I have a feeling come August, we're going to have a major shutdown, and it's going to claim 200 to 500 million people. And it's not from COVID. It's just people dying because they can't get food or they can't get the access to certain things. And I feel sorry for people living in condos.
Yeah. Well, what I worry about now is they're like the FDA still hasn't approved it, right? So, but they're talking, we're working the bugs out of the vaccine, right? So if you work the bugs out and create a different vaccine, then you got to go through all new clinical trials of humans again, which is going to be longer. This one, they say 2023, right? How can the FDA approve this when like the American virus is at 9,000 dead, I think, and the European is at 15,000 dead, and that only captures 1 to 10%. So at 1%, you got 15,000 dead, but at 100%, you got 1.5 million dead, right? You know, what's the number? Like, should be 20, 25 people dead, pull it off the shelves. It has in every other vaccine, but why not this one? This one was such a low death rate. Oh, remember all the fake deaths? It's I don't know. I think they're going to start shutting down stores and that for us to go in them if we're not vaxxed. That's going to be the
Shanghai
killer.
Larry sent me a clipping from a news thing, like a photo of the clipping, and it says in it's in Mandarin, but he told me what it says. It said that people are like investors in baby formula are pulling out their money, their stock, like their money invested, because they've made an announcement that the chairman of the board or the chairman of made an announcement of the biggest producing baby formula in China that they will cut back on 80% production because women that have been vaccinated can no longer have children from 6 months to 2 years. So they're going to cut back on their production of baby formula. So that's
they're hitting the whole world. They're hitting Europe, the crops, they're the States, India. They're you can see what they're doing. I watched this one show where the guy has the factory where all the semi-trailers back up and they unload. And he says this container here took 39 days to get here when it should have took 9. So I called my biggest supplier and I said, what's going on? And the boss, like the president of his biggest customer, the president says, well, our directive is what we're being told is to just let the goods sit in port on the ships. And you go and look at like Lord watches Jeremiah Babe there on YouTube. You'll look, he's in Venice Beach. He goes to California and he's showing you the ports. There's 60, 70 ships sitting out there with what do they got? 30,000 containers on each ship. They're just sitting there. Like why? They're creating shortages. It's going to be hardship, right? And then
I think come this August, I'm telling people to enjoy their summer because this August, September, watch out.
Yeah, 90 days or less, man. There's going to be something that's you're not going to like. And I'm not saying it's going to be catastrophic, but we're going to go into shortages again on the shelves, and then limits per person. And that's even if you can go in that store if you're not vaccinated. It's going to they're cornering us. They're pushing us into a corner more and more, right? Yeah, and I don't know. You can rack your brain all day thinking about this. I do. It's completely consumed my life.
We started, like I said, the Supreme Canon the other day. I started Mike in the Night, we were talking about, my first episode of Mike in the Night was like 4 years ago. I was talking about woman marries train station in San Francisco because she's in love with it. And if you look at the first episode of Mike in the Night, it's pretty funny. And then, we started talking about banks, globalists, this, that. And then look how far we've gotten on this show from what we were talking about to today. If someone told me, Mike, you're going to be talking about this in 2021, back in 2016, I would tell them you're full of crap. There's no way we're gonna let that happen.
If you even said that to me in 2019, 2019, we were talking about the repo market collapsing September 16th. They were signing Brexit January 30th. We had 45% of the world in protest. We knew it was bubbling over. We knew something was going to happen. They had to make a move. It was coming. I thought a small scale war. I thought a war was coming. I was wrong.
I said it before. They're going to pull a trigger on the mass pandemic. That's the only thing they have left. And I said that.
I found that video.
That was in August of 2019.
Yeah, I found that. I sent you that. I sometimes go back and watch old videos.
People still watch old videos. Like we can go to old Mike in the Night shows. There's like 23 people watching, or 10 people, 20, 30.
Yeah, you told me you can watch that. You can see who's watching what old video on your computer. Yeah, that's weird. That's neat.
We're approaching 6 million views on the channel, but the problem is they've removed quite a few videos so that the viewership went down.
Well,
so with the amount of videos they removed off me, I should be over 10 million views already.
If you're in their eyes, if you're going against the narrative, if you're not pro-vaccine, if you're not pro gotta stay safe, pro wear your mask, if you're not posting that stuff, and you're posting what we're talking about, what in their eyes is misinformation, and you're enemy number one.
What's misinformation? We're reading the damn articles off the asshole screen here. What is misinformation? They're telling Facebook says 85% of U.S. users are pro-vaccine.
Yeah, you got to watch what you know what? I argue with doctors on TikTok all the time. These guys back and forth. I argue with them and I'm like, buddy, your crimes against humanity. You're pushing it. How can you not see this? Oh, well, let's have a debate. He goes, 96% of doctors have been vaccinated. So I fact checked his 96%. I went and dug. I found it. It was on, I think it's AMA or SMA. They did a study. You know how big the study was, Mike? 301 doctors.
Holy
have
crap!
found
There's
that
like more than
90
there's more people watching the show
Yeah.
live.
But that's where the doctor got his 96% have been vaccinated from a study where they asked 301 doctors. And how many doctors would actually say they were or they weren't? But they said 96 out of 301. You know, that's not the whole world, buddy. And like in the UK, what you got 87,000 nurses that won't get vaccinated. It's everywhere.
And they're getting a lot of them are losing their jobs. So I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they all moved to Florida, because Florida's taking
guess
nurses. Florida's taking nurses. They have a nurse shortage. They're like crazy.
They got you on every angle, though. You lose your job, you blow your pension, whatever. You got to live. You got to buy food. What happens when you're down to the bare minimum and you got to get old age security, Canada pension plan? Guess what? You're getting jabbed. UBI, you're getting jabbed. Everything. They're going to put everything as a prerequisite that you must be jabbed. They're going to corner you into a room.
They're thinking of door to door thing there in the States too.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, don't come to my door.
Sorry, I don't speak English.
You know what? My neighbors on both sides, a couple on both sides, they're right awake, fully awake. So they're out there. It's going to be a battle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that we have the Americans on our side. They have a lot of guns, and Canadians have a lot of guns, but the Americans got more.
Mm-hmm.
And but their weakness, one of their biggest weaknesses is they think Trump's a hero when actually Trump is one of the key players to create division. I told like that one's a hard one, eh? And all the evidence is there. The Rothschilds bailed him out. Trump filled his administration with Rothschild bankers. He left Julian Assange in jail. The one guy he should have pardoned that took on the deep state, just like Trump claims he's doing. Yeah, but instead you release Kushner's dad and another 100 criminals. You know, Trump paid off a 16-year-old girl, I believe, for in court that took him to court. So there's lots of stuff there. But the Rothschilds told him to make a public spectacle and kick Epstein out of one of your places. That's how far back they knew Trump would be president, because about 14 years, I believe, 15 years ago, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. They say he hit on a 14-year-old girl. So Trump made a visible spectacle and said, get out of my... He severed ties from that world because the Rothschilds know the Epstein world is a risky world, and anybody connected to Epstein is not going to be credible. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Bill Gates' wife.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Is that because now he's coming out as a partner of Epstein? Right? Look at Trudeau, another visitor of Epstein Island. His wife left him. Mm-hmm. So anybody tied to that guy is not credible. But guess what? We're taking our World Health information from Bill Gates, who has had business dealings with Epstein.
I don't think he has a health degree or anything. Okay, Raven, it's been an hour. I'm going to let you go.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll let you go, man. Get someone else.
We'll talk later. God bless and stay strong and keep us updated on what's going on, okay?
Yeah, just watch for the grocery stores to ask for vaccinations.
God bless.
That's
Bye.
a bad one. Okay, bye.
That is the Raven. Let's do a quick mid-show plug, guys. So, guys, this is important. Scientists warn that within 6 months, humanity will run out of things to call racist. This is a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get a channel plug here real quick, guys, if you don't mind checking it out. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my main channel. You need to see the Mickey Mouse video I made here. Masks Stay On. It's really good. A lot of people have seen the video. Please, if you don't mind, watch the Masks Stay On video. Also, guys, don't forget to set your reminders for Mike in the Night video here for next Saturday. Merit Toys and Games, mtg.toys. Don't forget to check. Buy a board game. If you're going to be in lockdown, have some fun and get your mind off things. I have hundreds, probably almost 1,000 individual unique board games that you could play at home with the family. So there it is, mtg.toys. Guys, don't forget to message me on Instagram if you get a minute. If you need to message me, just message me here on Instagram. Is no big deal. Also, don't forget to check artbydano.com, artbydano.net, artbydano.com. You can find them at Huntington Pier and Huntington Beach there. Let Dano commission your next piece of artwork. So here it is, artbydano.com. He mails... he does mailing service to all over North America. Guys, don't forget to check out ralphie.co.nz, where Mike in the Night gets replayed. from broadcasting from Auckland, New Zealand. And don't forget to support Amerifornia tour for Lord Humongous. He hasn't gotten a donation in a while. I'll donate it to him this weekend for gas money there. So Amerifornia tour is going to be launched very soon. And Dano's working on the Amerifornia board game, where you got all kinds of really cool stuff here. Let me put this on full screen here. The Amerifornia board game, and this is amazing. I like this. This way this game is set up here. I'm gonna ask him how it plays once he gets it. So there's the border here between Canada and the U.S., and that's kind of interesting how you got. Yeah, the Amerifornia board game. Looking forward to seeing it in its completion. And what else do we got? What else do we have for you tonight on There's the Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour, Freedom Tour 2021-2022. Don't forget, there's Supreme Cannon right there. There's the Raven. There's Lord Humongous. That's the Raven there, this Corvette. That's the Federal Reserve, I think. Amerifornia Freedom Tour 2021-2022. Artbydano.com. Don't forget to check them out. Okay, guys. All right, second. Whoa, we got an hour left. So let's get on. So Ricky Spanish is messaging me with some information about the markets, and we'll try our best to get him on the show on our Wednesday financial show.
Ricky Spanish.
Art by Dano saying Amerifornia board game will be done by Wednesday. Wow. Okay, well, tell us what the rules are, and I'll do a tutorial for it. Press 1 if you plan to survive the genocide, says Donaire. Leila is saying it's just awesome. Woo, Dano. No, I gotta call Tig really quick, because I promised Tig she needs to come on the show, because she promised me she's gonna come on the show, because she said she's gonna come on the show. And Tig Nim, can you please turn on your Skype, please? Tig Nim, pick up your phone.
Hello.
Tig, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing fantastic. It's so good to have you on the show. You've been in the comments for like a million years, and it's good to have you come on and hear your voice. So what's going on?
Oh, not too much. Just reading all the comments and living day by day.
So how are you feeling about this? Like just tell what's on your mind. Tell us, please.
Do you know anything about the straw man?
The who?
The straw man?
No.
Basically, the straw man is your name written in block letters. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's what the government and corporation did when they took your birth certificate and made a second birth certificate in a trust. Is called, excuse my French, C to Covey. It's basically means French for he who lives.
Mm-hmm.
So basically in 1666 was also the year of the Great Fire of London, a Babylonian sacrifice by fire. It's actually masquerading as an old wives' tale about a fire starting in a baker's shop. So basically, if you look into the U.S.,
right.
The congressional records of June 13, 1967, it says, a citizen of the United States is a civilly dead entity operating as a co-trustee and co-beneficiary of the PCT, which stands for Public Charitable Trust. The constructive C2V Trust of U.S. Incorporated under the 14th Amendment, which upholds the debt of the U.S. and U.S. Incorporated. So basically, what this all means is that the government, when parents had a child, and they registered and applied for a birth certificate, what the government, who is run by the Crown, created a second birth certificate, and it's a fiction because corporations cannot interact with real people, so they had to create a fictitious person, which is basically a person who has no soul and is spiritually dead, and that's why they call it a straw man. So they made a duplicate birth certificate. So basically, when you enter into the court system, it's all play acting, and we are not under law. And how does that relate to the biblically? Is that the Old Testament is under law, and we are now under grace because we are saved through Christ, right? We have salvation. So,
It's it's the starting of a new dawn of the new calendar, the new everything, right?
Well, basically, every human being that is being registered to the state or to the Crown by the parents ends up becoming a bond that is traded on the stock market without you ever knowing. So, I hear your Wednesday shows when you talk about stocks. I don't know a lot about the lingo, but you're basically, what you're trading is human beings. Hundreds of millions of human beings around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been going on since the early 1900s. And what they've done is fraud, because they fraudulently taken the birth certificate and made it into a dead entity. So with the dead entity certificate, it's making billions of dollars. So your straw man is considered a dead entity, and the corporation.
This is not the first time I'm hearing this. I've heard this from many people. Like, I've heard this from quite a few people. I heard it from a guy in Mexico who was into deep. What was he doing? What was he into? He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer in Mexico, but he's into deep finding these kind of things and these loopholes that government creates to ruin people's lives and stuff.
Right.
And he was telling me about what you're telling me, and the same thing applies in Mexico, apparently.
Actually, the Crown is a corporation. The Crown owns the U.S. and it owns all the Commonwealth countries and who knows what other countries. So all the laws are fictitious. We are currently not under law. Like, these laws are bogus. So, and I'll give you an example. You know how we have WCB? We have Alberta Health. Mm-hmm. We have all these organizations. So, for example, registration, motor vehicle registries, they're all run by the Crown. The Crown owns them. So basically, if you have to go to court, it's not going to be in your real name because they don't have it. All they have is the dead entity, and they interact with that. So who is reaping the rewards at the value of your bond is being traded. So it's the Federal Reserve, which belongs to the royal family and corporations. Once you're registered, that's where the money goes. So basically, everyone is worth millions. We all have millions, but the Crown took it. So under a fictitious birth certificate, which they created, and it's in block letters. And here's a little tidbit I'm going to let you know. When someone receives a ticket of any kind or a fine, what you do with that ticket is you don't sit on it because we are not under contract law. So what you do is on the front of the ticket in black ink, it has to be black ink, bold letters. You write the word rescission on it. So what is rescission? It's revocation, cancellation, repeal of a law, order, or agreement. It's void from inception. Under that, under the black letters, what you do is in red ink, bold letters, you write the date that you were handed the ticket. And next, in blue ink, under the red ink, you put your signature. Don't sign it where they want you to sign it. And what you do is you make copies for yourself and anyone who's on the ticket. So like courts or listings, right? Then you're going to send it back within 72 hours. Don't sit on the ticket. Mm-hmm. Okay? So what they're going to do once you mail it to them, they're going to try to trick you to get you to sign the back of the ticket for a resolution, and they want you to mail it back. But that's a trick, and they're not trying to. What they're doing is they're not trying to get you under contract law. We are not under contract law. So what you do is you just don't sign it. You can just even ignore it, and that's it. So it's just that easy, very easy. So, yeah, say, for example, if you have to go to court with these fines or tickets, there's a way to speak and how to speak. Because remember, we are not under contract law because it's fictitious. Because who's in court? It's your straw man. It's not even you, because there's a difference between a signature and an autograph. So, but yeah, listening to what a lot of what Raven had to say, it's kind of, he's right. And it gets depressing after a while. However, people who are in Christ, God doesn't give us the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. So, Jesus is the only way. And if you're still there, and, and he's your peace, and you'll get peace. Read your Bible, but Christians out there,
Jesus is my man, right? He's my man. He's the Prince of Peace, and you know what? He's my type of guy. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah. So these corporations and the Crown, and it's very interesting. So I went deep into researching this, and there's actually a place where you can research it. It's called, let's see here. It's called the UCC, which stands for Uniform Commercial Code.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it talks about the contract law and the Crown Incorporation. So basically, the Crown runs everything, and the Crown has hundreds of billions of dollars. And because
Anarchy in the comments is saying Australia is owned by the Crown.
Oh, we all are.
Mm-hmm.
We all are, but a lot of people don't know that. So, especially a lot of people, for our American brothers and sisters, if they read their 14th Amendment, which upholds the debt of the U.S. and U.S. Incorporated, and they should read that. The congressional record is June 13, 1967. So it's the PCT, the Public Charitable Trust. Yeah, so other than that, things are good.
Okay. That was yeah, I'm speechless. But yeah. Okay. So how do you feel? Are you going, what are you doing? Are you in lockdown? What's going on where you're at?
Well, I'm in Alberta, so we have freedom here. Don't have to wear a mask. No one has approached me. They give you a look, and sometimes you kind of, because we had to wear it for so long, sometimes you feel like, I don't know if guilty is the word, but unsettled because everybody's looking at you. Because I remember July 1st, I went into Home Depot, and everybody's looking at you, the ones that work there, and I'm looking for people without a mask. And finally, I seen a few other customers. I'm like, oh, okay, it's all good. I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But I'm debating whether or not I'm sending my daughter back to school because I don't trust them. I have a feeling that they're just going to go ahead and vaccinate the kids without parental consent anyways in the schools.
Well, I'm afraid of that. I'm really afraid of them double backing. You know what I mean? The schools, I don't trust the school system.
Mm-hmm. I don't either.
It's government, right? It's public, right? So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I'm just basically doing what everybody else, most people are doing. Just, you stock up and, what else can you do? Be with like-minded people and try to wake up other people.
I
You
think
know?
we're past trying to wake up other people. I think everybody's already put their line in the sand, and I think from there, I think people they're already made up at this point. I'm saying a year ago maybe, but now everybody's like, oh, I believe in science. I love Dr. Fauci, and I love these lockdowns, and this is what we need to do. It's like there's nothing more you could do to these people. There's no convincing. There's no debating. I've tried it. I just don't talk about anything. Even when I'm at my store, people come in. I'm talking about like customers. I don't ask them why they're wearing a mask. They don't have to wear a mask. I don't do any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just, whatever, man. You know more. Hey, can you read and write in English? Yeah, I can. Oh, then you're smarter than I am then.
Right. Majority of my friends and some of my family, they already took it. But here's the thing, none of them have any symptoms. They don't talk about, this is what's going on, this, I have this ache or this pain. No, nothing. Because majority of them that took it, they either took Moderna or what's the other one?
Pfizer?
Yeah, that one. Those were the two most common ones that majority of my friends took.
Interesting.
And one of my friends, she's a professional flutist. She works for the symphony, and she took it. And she had to because she works, and I told her, well, and she has underlying health issues like asthma. And, I just ask her every once in a while when I see her, I just ask her, so do you have any symptoms? How are you feeling? And she seems fine.
Because a lot of the people I've spoken to that took the second vaccine are in a lot of pain. Like there's one guy, his arm and shoulder is still like he can't even lift his hand over his head. I saw him the other day. And Fat Tony passed out the other day on the street. He was walking. He said he started like feeling dizzy, and he kind of sat down. And then he said he woke up and like he doesn't know how long he was out for.
Right.
So he told me, and I live in a small town. So if you're on a side street or something, you could be there for hours before somebody walks by or drives by, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
So that's what Fat Tony.
Yeah, actually, I have a friend who actually had the COVID, and she's a pharmacist, and she took both vaccines, and she seems fine. Like there's nothing. She's okay. No soreness. Nothing. I'm like, wow. Okay. And she's always trying to convince me, oh, vaccines are good. I'm like, no, they're not. Just look at my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes. Well, Mike, it was really good talking to you.
Well, it's good to have you on the show for the first time in like 5 years.
I've only been listening to you for 3 years.
Okay, but you know what I mean. I'm being sarcastic. But yeah. Thanks for coming on the show, Tig. I appreciate it. And we'll have you on again whenever you want to say something or talk about something or you want to get something off your chest. Just let us know. We'll have you on, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you. God bless you.
Take care. You too. Bye.
Bye. Well, that's Tig. See, we got 2 first-time callers on the show tonight. Yeah, we all had COVID. I had COVID back in November of last year, 2019. We're in 2021. Man, it's going to be a very interesting, guys. It's going to be a very, very...
Ricky Spanish.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a very interesting fall in the Northern Hemisphere. They're already ramping up in Europe. They're already... things in the Southern Hemisphere, all the Southern Hemisphere, South Africa, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand. I'm talking COVID number-wise. COVID number, Delta ball juice, whatever you want to call it. Southern Hemisphere. Watch what happens in August, September here in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah. And they're going to roll out a third vaccine, by the way. They're talking about it, and it might be mandatory, too. And they're going to... And then I heard they're actually going to throw out a travel vaccine. You remember back in the day, like, oh, I'm going to Vietnam. Well, you're gonna have to take a vaccine before you go to Vietnam. So, like something like, or I'm going to Sri Lanka or something. Okay, you got to take this shot or something, just so you know you're going to, like back in the 80s and 90s when you fly somewhere, like, oh, I'm going to Haiti. Oh, you got to take a malaria shot before you go, right? Now it's like, yeah, I don't even know, man. I don't even know what the heck is going on, man. So I don't even think. So a lot of people that are going to travel, I'm going to travel. It's going to be good. It's like, you know what? They're shutting people that want to down. They're shutting down people that want to travel. So let's take a look at our top stories here. Scientists warn that within 6 months, humanity will run out of things to call racist. Speaking of that, let's call. I want to call. Let's call Layla. She hasn't been on. I think she's about 2 weeks on the show. I see here, July 7th, she was on the show. So let's give her a call to see if she picks up. I think her Skype's off. Yeah, her Skype's off. Guys, don't. Someone put the link for the Discord in the chat, please, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, put the link in the Discord, please, if you don't mind. I would like to. Talk to some of you guys. Bindi Black is saying, "Wow, a long message here." Yeah. Okay, there's Layla calling in. Hi.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good. How are you, my friend?
Good. How's the volume?
It's
okay?
fine. What time is it there? Like 4 o'clock?
It's close to 7. It's 20 past 6.
Okay. 7 in the morning on Sunday. All right, let's go over some articles. Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Scientists warn that in 6 months, humanity will run out of things to call racist.
Who published that article?
It's a joke. I put that up there because it was on the. That's fine. I'm sorry. I had to put that up there. Did you like it?
Yeah, it's perfect. It's brilliant.
It is. But it's true. It's true. Okay. So this is the one that I don't. You didn't watch when the show is done. Watch the first 15 minutes. I'm freaking out on this article. So let's break this down. No return to normal expected in post-pandemic New Zealand. So I don't mind that part, Layla. I do not mind that part of this, what they're telling us. It's the second part that bothers me. And it says, and locals say that's fine.
It's one of those surveys, We have them every so often.
Oh, when you're shopping at the grocery stores, or, hi, sir, do you got a minute? I want to ask you 13 questions.
Yeah, and I think at CPAC they do these foolish outbursts and they go around asking people, and it's so artificial. I don't know how they can't they put in a bit more effort, to make it look natural. It looks really artificial. How they pick these people who are just answering with the script, or maybe they're handed a script. It's just really pathetic. And then you have this guy from Nanos. He's been a regular on I think Trendline on CTV News, and he's producing all of these surveys for them. And it's just retarded, and you just look at the comments, because the comments are open on CTV News, and everyone's against it. It's like, who were you asking? I didn't see any of those surveys.
And they shut down the comments, so people can't comment or thumb it down.
Yeah, but they haven't been doing that, actually. I mean, some channels are, but CTV has been open. The Sun, the Star, and things like that, they've been open. CPAC and Agenda by Steve Paikin are closed. They sort of operate more like a television show, but I think it's to their advantage to keep the comments open. It's called sentiment analysis, Mike. Oh, just give it a break, Mike. I sent you something funny, speaking of that, because I'm studying this AI program, and in AI you do an analysis of language for sentiment analysis. So we're just hitting this module now, and I sent you I sent you an image of Trump tweets. So we're actually analyzing Trump's tweets. We have 41,000 of them, and they're being run through an analysis. So I sent you some funky images about that. You can
Is
have
it
a look
in
at them.
Skype?
No, it's on email.
Oh, it's on email. Okay, I'll check. Can I check it in a second?
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, it's just for fun. But you're the first person I thought about when we're analyzing the words that Trump would use and all of that. We're running statistics on them. It's
Oh,
quite
really?
fun. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
get
it's
to the
really-
part here. I just want to throw this out there because I'm pretty pissed at this. Prime Minister Jacinta Ardern has likened the COVID-19 pandemic to the 9/11 terror attacks in the U.S.
Okay, great. Yeah, makes sense, Very similar. Well, they're similar. They're both probably created by Mossad and the Zionist elite.
And then it goes on to say, the vast majority of New Zealanders, 91%, do not expect life to return to normal, even when they're vaccinated.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who's this article by? Rupert
It's
Murdoch
actually
himself?
it's actually by the Guardian.
Yeah.
That's their major the biggest. It's the biggest. It's the Guardian's the biggest publication, and then I think it's ABC. And then I think it's
they're all the same. They're all run by the same people. Even Sky News Australia, these guys really annoy me. The Sky News on Australia, they pretend to be, populist, and they're criticizing the lockdowns. And it's like, my friend, you're owned by Murdoch. Okay, shut up. And people just swallow it. They really
that's
think that
the problem, Layla. People believe this garbage.
People believe that there is there's a difference between conservatives and liberals. That's what people need to get their head around. People believe Trump was a good guy. You heard what the Raven said. He was part of this. It's all engineered to the T. They're very good at this stuff. They've been doing it for a long time. They know how to manage perceptions. They know how to disassociate certain characters from certain environments because they're going to use them down the line. They're experts at these things.
So listen, let's go to the next article. Majority of COVID misinformation came from 12 people, report finds. CCDH finds disinformation doesn't have combined the following 59 million people across multiple social media platforms. So they're identifying people who are spreading misinformation. So are they identifying the people that are producing this garbage that we're reading here? Or they're coming after people that question it? Because all we're doing on this damn show is we're questioning what they're telling us. And when we can't do that, then I say hasta la vista and uno de Padre, de Filho, de Espíritu Santiago, amen. It's over.
Yeah, Mike, in philosophy, this is a logical fallacy. It's called a deferral to authority. It's when you have to accept something as true because it comes from an authority. And this is actually a logical fallacy. And it reminds me of the email you got from YouTube. They were telling you that you can't criticize Fauci like he's some kind of godsend, that you have to believe what he says because he is a person in authority. And actually, that is illogical. You don't question something. You don't believe in something because it comes from a certain authority. And that includes things like religion and the Bible and things like that. But you question something because of its truth, of its truth merit, based on logic and other rules, just like this racism crap in math, whatever that was.
Oh, we're going to get to that. Don't worry about that.
No, I'm not worried. Yeah, so it's
Sydney Morning Herald's reporting this morning. Sunday morning, Sydney Morning Herald is reporting Australia COVID news live. New South Wales tightens lockdown in Sydney, southwest Victoria. Exposure list tops 200. So there it is. New South Wales report finds fourth death and another 105 cases of outbreak grows. Well, that's better than Brazil. They got 39,000 cases in 2 hours. So, I mean, okay. So there were 66,671 tests reported in 24 hours to 8 p.m. on Saturday night. So what does that work out to again? What, 2,300 or 3,000 tests an hour? I don't even know how.
Sorry, is that Sydney or Melbourne, Mike?
This is in New South Wales. So that would be Sydney.
Okay, yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. So I just don't understand. I don't doubt people are dying. People die every day. Heck, there's someone just died right now when I just said that. Okay, but that's the point is what. Okay, Facebook says 85% of U.S. users are pro-vaccinated. So, okay, 85%. So why are they pushing people to go door to door to take this vaccine if 85% of users, because Facebook says so, and it rejects Biden's criticism of killing people with the COVID-19 misinformation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another one of those surveys, 85%, these, that it's a bit of it's kind of a waste of time, Mike. I mean, it's obvious what they're doing. It's obvious it's all lies. Well, actually, it's not all lies. They tell you what they're doing, right? But then they fudge numbers and things like that. But they are telling you what they're doing. Like when Klaus Schwab goes out to say there can be a mass cyber attack, I believe him. Why? Because I know he's planning it. He's seeding it.
Right. He's seeding, plants.
Same thing with
Well, a good example is World War I, right at the end, and then they had the whole ripping apart of Europe and reconstructing Europe. That planted the seeds for World War II. So they already had it in the works they were predetermined to go into another war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the same thing here. So, for example, just I think maybe yesterday, maybe less than yesterday, like 16 or 18 hours ago, there was an article that came out of Ontario that now they have the highest, they're still below 200 a day, but they've gotten the highest number of COVID cases and hospitalization over the past week. So it was all trending downwards, but then within this downward trend, there's like a little spike. So it's obvious, the narrative is just going to replay. And, they've been talking about this Delta variant picking up soon, and they're all in the timeline, in September. And it's gonna work out in alignment with the schools, with people going back to work. And they're going to say, we have to vaccinate all the kids. We have to vaccinate everyone in college. We have to, so every group of people, every profession, they have their reasons for why they want to roll out the vaccine. So, for example, most colleges in Ontario, they're all, even outside of Ontario, they're imposing the vaccine on at least people or students who reside in the dormitories, for example. Others are people who are going to attend campus. They all need to be vaccinated, staff and students and everyone, My sister teaches in an institution. She took the vaccine. It's happening, and it's becoming compulsory. And that's the thing. It's like people say things like, "Oh, they can't force us." Well, they can't force you, but a company is also free to impose its own rules. So in the same way that you're free as an individual, a company is free as a corporation. So they get to decide what to impose. If they want to impose the vaccine on their staff. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Texas is not going to go with the vaccine." Houston Methodist, which is a massive healthcare operator in Texas, they imposed the vaccine on their staff, and they fired like 100 and I don't know how many, 30 or so. They're suing now, and the court dismissed it. Because a company is free to run its business as it wants.
Mm-hmm. Next, so now they're giving live. They're called these watch live news things that they keep popping up here on this feed. Who is allowed to travel for work if you live in Fanfield, Canterbury, Bankston, and Liverpool. So this is in Australia. So they're showing where you could go, where you can't go, and they actually have a list of places you could visit and list the places you're not allowed during this massive Delta variant ball juice lockdown. So now the thing is, they're expecting people to know this stuff when they go out in public. So what if you just don't watch this cancerous crap? How do you know what they're trying to tell you, even though what you're seeing isn't happening, what they're telling you on the news? How do you fall into line, so to say?
You'll find out when you show up at the door.
Okay, so I got this one here from Brazil. So they're registering 868 deaths from COVID in the last 24 hours and 34,339 new cases in the last 24 hours. It's written here in Portuguese. So it says here, I watched the news directly from Brazil, and what they're breaking down the whole thing by state, by every different state in Brazil, and they're breaking it down so you could see where the cases are, what places to stay out of. But it's kind of funny how it's all in the Southern Hemisphere, Layla.
Well, it's true that they weren't, they weren't hit as much in the first wave as last year, as much as the Northern Hemisphere.
Well, Australia
It's
was on
possible.
full lockdown last year. They're in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah. I guess here the different. I guess what I'm saying is maybe first world countries versus second and developing countries, and also because first world countries have much faster access to the vaccine. So they started their coverage much earlier, and then now they need to cover the southern hemisphere, which is also where there are larger populations, right? More population numbers. I think the depopulation program is the number one priority. I agree with everything else. Microchipping, surveillance, the 5G, the 6G is coming in 2028, by the way, according to the WEF. I agree with all of that, but I think their number one priority is really depopulation.
Well, here it is here. Thousands protest. So this is from the Greek Reporter. Thousands protest against mandatory vaccination in Greece. Now, here's the key with this. They're actually protesting against in this article, but when you read other articles, they're actually saying that Greeks are infuriated with local governments who are not rolling out the vaccine fast enough.
I mean, yeah, of course, expect that. Of course,
It's like
is not a reliable source of any information.
so.
And then there is also the goal of confusing people. Like I've always believed that. It's important to divide. It's important to create friction between people. So it also helps. That's why they don't stop these articles all the time, because sometimes it helps. It's like saying don't think of pink elephants. What are you thinking about? Pink elephants. So it's enough to put it out there so that they see it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're getting this Head and Shoulders thing here in Mexico, where cases again. This is what in los últimos. Let me see here. Let me just see here in the article here. En los últimos 24 horas. So yeah, new contagions. So there are 12,800 cases in the last 24. So I don't know if they're all working together to make it look like it's happening everywhere at the same time thing, or they're unified, or what they're doing, or maybe somebody in Mexico does speak Portuguese so they could see what's happening in Brazil. Maybe, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, it's centralized. The media is centralized worldwide. Reuters is the main engine of. Reuters collects the facts, if you like, and it sells it. Okay, so people source their facts mostly from Reuters, and then they create the news stories. Of course, Reuters has its own newspaper, and they create news stories. But yes, it is centralized because you do have agencies like Reuters who have a large network of reporters who actually collect the facts, and that's rolled up. And then the quote-unquote facts that are shared is what you see roll out across the media. There's probably others, but Reuters has been in this business a long time, and of course we know who owns Reuters. Actually, the chair lives in Toronto and Rosedale.
Oh, nice. Okay, movie theaters and casinos and more can open for fully vaccinated Manitobans as of Saturday. So looking at bowling alleys, malls, if you're fully vaccinated, you will be treated. You will be treated as top notch for following. But the thing is, none of these guys took the. I could bet any of these guys 5 years of my life to 10 years of theirs that they didn't take this thing.
I don't think they're that important not to take it. I think they took it. They're disposable. They're replaceable.
Okay.
I think they're a non-issue. Yeah, it's not like you're talking about Bill Gates. Bill Gates probably didn't take it. Elon Musk probably didn't take it. But these guys, they're replaceable. Non-issue, I think, Mike.
So, Prime Minister's plans for COVID passports in chaos of 8 in 10 nightclubs say they won't use them. So, 8 in 10 nightclubs right now in London are not going to be using these COVID passports.
They'll just find a way to create a new breakout, and then they're going to lock down again. And they say, see, because they didn't impose the thingy, now we have to lock down all over again. They're just going to keep replaying the scenario, until they have the coverage that they want. I mean, initially they said 70% for herd immunity. Now they're saying 85%. And then I think Theresa Tam, or was it Doug Ford, said something around 90%. And of course they're saying, 100% is ideal. they're still, they're still playing with these words. But then when every profession has a reason why it has to impose the vaccines, you're going to pretty much cover all of the, the whole market. It's going to split society, but I think eventually the people who won't take the vaccine are going to be a minority.
Okay. Yeah. South Africa's leaders fear fresh wave of violence as Zuma loyalists. So I spoke to my friend Nigel down in South Africa. He says it's nuts down there.
Yeah.
It's out of control
I mean,
everywhere.
it's really extreme what's going on now, but it hasn't been good over the last few years, actually.
Yeah, well, they were persecuting white
been
farmers
going on.
back in 2019, remember?
Yeah, I saw that. Now, I don't support white South Africa, but I also don't support what's been going on. Like, it was true apartheid, and I don't support that. Just so that people, because it's so easy to talk about one side and not the other. But I don't think two wrongs make a right.
Mm-hmm. Pentagon scientists reveal a gel sensor that detects infection in your body before you show symptoms and a filter that extracts the COVID-19 virus from your blood. What the hell is this shit? It's the Daily Mail from the UK.
Yeah, that sounds like
transhumanism.
The AI. No, it's not. I want to share something about that actually today, but that's not transhumanism. That's more like the predictive. It's predictive medicine, and so the AI is being used a lot with these things these days. That's how medicine is gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of AI to predict symptoms based on all sorts of data. That's the result of big data analytics. Mike, there's a famous example in AI in recommendation systems. Amazon could predict that could tell that a woman was pregnant before she knew that she was pregnant based on her shopping patterns on Amazon. So it's kind of this predictive power that is going to be
I think if
used
somebody buys a pregnancy
medicine.
kit, I think maybe she may be pregnant too.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that they could tell from her shopping behavior that she was pregnant before she even knew. I mean, they didn't have to get anywhere near her body, to know that.
Wow.
It's entirely behavioral. Yeah, exactly. So this is what we're talking about.
You can't filter extracts of COVID-19 virus. You can't do that.
Why not?
I don't think you can. I don't think it's possible.
Why not?
I just don't think it's possible.
You've got to have a reason.
Well, before you show
You just
symptoms
don't think
and a filter,
you can carry the virus, and it can be asymptomatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
According to their theory. Of course, I don't believe in virology. In fact, I don't believe in anything that comes out of Western medicine. But according to their theory, you can carry the virus, and it doesn't produce symptoms. So.
But how can it be filtered out of the blood? I don't see a blood filter. I mean, I just can't
Well,
see this working.
It out.
Huh?
You would sample it out of the blood. So you take a blood sample,
okay,
and see if it's in there. You might need a few samples depending on how much of the virus exists in your body, because it might be hit or miss, right? Maybe there isn't in this sample, but there is in the next one. So you take a few blood samples and see if it's in there, just like anything else, I guess, like any other test.
Okay. All right, let's move on here. Okay, I got that one there already. WHO warns individuals against mixing and matching the COVID vaccines. These guys don't know if they're tricking or treating.
That was so good. They had to do a major PR damage control in Canada because of this. But
everyone's vacations are getting canceled now. Oh, I'm going to take a vacation because I'm fully vaccinated. Watch this. Right there.
Yeah, I mean, good for them, these people who believe anything that's thrown their way. Too bad, eh? If after all of this you're still not able to, after all this information, you're still not able to come up with a reasonable judgment about things not being right, it's not clear to you that they're experimenting, they're changing here one day and changing here another day, and you're calling that science. You know what Einstein said? He said, truth is what stands the test of time. Yeah, that's what truth is. Don't go buying so-called science. It's crap, and it's seriously, some people, it's your fault. Yes, I agree with the Raven. I don't make fun of people. I'm not happy because they made a mistake. It's not like that, but it is. You're gonna reap what you sow. there's a cause and effect to everything. So be careful what you put into your body. I mean, that's the least you can do is to look at the ingredients.
Okay, Biden administration sees the highest number of illegal immigrants attempt to cross the U.S. southern border for 2 decades. So they are flooded. And I have a friend that lives on the southern Mexican border, and he tells me the migrant train has never stopped, and it's been going full blast since Biden was elected. It's actually gotten worse, he said. It's gotten so bad in the southern part of Mexico where he lives that they have to have people, like personnel from the town, and they're outfitting them with shotguns and bulletproof vests to patrol their own neighborhoods now in the southern part of Mexico, with the amount of people coming in through Mexico that's no longer being reported.
Yeah, that's just chaotic down there. I don't know, what is the goal of that? Just plain chaos, or I don't know. It's just it doesn't do anything immediately. I'm not sure what's the goal of creating this kind of chaos, but I don't know. Do you have any ideas, Mike?
Well, again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning of the show, that basically these shutdowns, when they do a big shutdown in August, September, like another big one, what's going to happen with that is actually it's going to displace millions of people. I see 200 to 500 million people dying from this next shutdown. Not because of the virus. I see more because of them losing their jobs, can't afford to eat, and artificial shortages. I see it like that. I don't see it like... So that's why everybody's fleeing to America. Everyone's trying to get into Canada. Everyone's trying to get into... Because the governments seem, on paper, a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
That's all. It's not because...
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a major issue. So we're seeing this influx. That's all. I believe we're going to see 500 million dead. Starting in in the fall alone. I'm saying like the next lockdown through the next course of the next 7-8 months, depending on how long the lockdown goes.
Right, Mike. So on this note, I'm sending you an article, and I'm wondering, did you even pay attention to all of this climate disaster going on this week? Like
with
almost
the rainfalls in
half the
Europe
flooded.
and tornadoes in Barrie, Ontario. Yeah, I've been seeing it all.
Yeah, and the U.S. in the West, Yemen is flooded. China
Yes.
continues to be flooded. Europe
Yes.
all over the place.
Europe is crazy, and Germany too.
Right. So the climate lockdowns are going to come down. And so I circled back a little bit, just wondering what a climate lockdown would look like. And the one thing that I came across is that because of the lockdowns during all of this COVID phase, the emissions went down by at something like 7%.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're saying that in order to achieve their carbon goals, their climate change goals, they will need to lock down as much as they locked down last year every 2 years. Okay, so every 2 years, a massive COVID lockdown in order to bring the emissions down in order to reach the climate targets. See how they're weaving it together?
Can I say
nice, huh?
something?
They're
Can I
good.
add something to that? I'm going to throw a cherry on top of that. You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
They're actually adding to death certificate death by climate change.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I mean, they're just playing out the narrative and they're weaving everything together. And in the process, they're working on the cyber attack thing, So what are they going to do? They're going to say something like, the climate change is causing all of these vulnerabilities and, all of the work from home and, a lot of people don't have access and they're using these crappy connections and everything is so vulnerable. There's going to be a massive cyber attack while the world is flooding, and then they're going to shut down everything. And then one day we're going to be reborn into this 5G environment, after they upgrade everything during this shutdown. Well, it's not going to be like that, of course, but I mean, they are weaving these things together, right?
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it as it started, like if you want to, I don't want to go back too far, but it started with the war on drugs, and then it started with the war on terror, and then it went to the race wars, religion wars, and then it went now to Then from there, it went into fear wars, and then back to the war on drugs, and now we got COVID pandemic wars, and then now we're looping back into, from pandemic wars, we're looping back into climate destruction wars, and it's just, we're creating these wars and borders and divides that shouldn't even exist, and it's
Yeah.
Okay, CDC scrambles after rare case of monkeypox turns up in Texas. I actually back-checked this, and yes, monkeypox, there is an outbreak, but it's really hard to spread that kind of virus.
I saw that article. I think it's just one of those things that they put out there. I feel that the way they play the media is that they have all of these possible scenarios, so they seed these possible scenarios, and if they need them, then they turn them up. But they would have seeded it earlier. So if they need a weird spread somewhere because they didn't achieve their COVID goals somewhere, they're gonna throw in the monkeypox. Something I saw is like this. They were talking about mad cow disease in some parts of Ontario, like they're not able to explain certain diseases. It's when it's for humans, they call it I think the Jacob Creutzfeldt disease. I have a distant relative who actually died of that. It's pretty sad. I saw him in his last days. It degenerates really, really badly. And then they pulled off the bird flu somewhere. They've been having all of these things all over the place, and then outbreak of mosquitoes, or was it the crickets? So they have all of these streams of potential things that could go wrong, and they keep them in there, in the atmosphere, so that if they need them, they'll switch it on in different places. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of them, the monkeypox story.
Well, it looks like that they are no treatment despite past attempts to develop a vaccine. CDC officials have expressed that an outbreak is unlikely given current mask. So, like, for this to spread is like it's not like a common thing, right? So they are reporting on it, though. And Ontario couple cancel honeymoon trip to Barbados after vaccine mix not approved. So that's what happens when you listen to the professionals, or what the professionals have.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And Mike, I did send you that article on the email, I think. So in relation to the climate stuff, China is moving 2 million people off their lands. Okay. And I saw that coming from, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, there was a major flood somewhere in the Ottawa region. And I really felt that it was intended, like an emergency exercise to move people. Mm-hmm. And another one is what happened in Lytton. And this article is called Ecological Migration.
I can't find, I'm looking at the last thing you sent me. It's just this Donald Trump stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just try this again, because I thought it was a pretty good article. So I think this is going to happen now. There's going to be all of these climate issues, and that is one of the reasons, one of the ways they are using it to move people around, right? Because they want to move them to the city, and in there, I think it is in that article where they mention how it's expensive to bring infrastructure to the smaller towns. And I was telling you about that earlier, Mike. It's definitely the case in Canada. It costs a lot to build infrastructure to these remote areas, and it's much more cost efficient to have people in more concentrated areas, because then you need less networks, less infrastructure all over the place. And Canada is tricky, right? Because it's cold, and it has a harsh environment.
What did they do with the 30,000 plus small cities medium to small cities across America?
Well, I think they're due for depopulation as well. Like if you look at the 2050 maps of the Agenda 21-2030, there are the metropolitan areas are the Seattle area, some parts of the California area, towards the Florida and New York. So there's going to be like a central area that is depopulated, and that is where they're going to sort of just move these small locations to either side.
Before we go any further, did you watch my Mickey Mouse video I sent you a link to?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Wasn't it good?
It is excellent. Yeah, it's excellent.
Where he
Thanks
says,
for sending.
do we have a problem here? And he goes, no, sir. Oh, okay. I thought we had a problem, huh?
Yeah, I think that's what the Raven was talking about, right? How they first start with, just what was it? These levels. First, it's voluntary, and then it's bribery, and then it's
Didn't
force.
get your ass
I don't
kicked
know, I think
by
he's
Mickey
got-
Mouse.
I think he has four. I think he has four of them, not three. I don't know. Yeah. So I resent it, Mike. If you want to
I'm
pull
gonna
it up,
open it right now. No, nothing. Let me refresh.
Yeah, because it shows sent from my end.
All right, I'm
Bizarre.
refreshing it. No, Layla, no subject. Same one that you sent earlier is there, but that's the Donald Trump stuff in there.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what I did.
Oh, you sent it to Mike Martino. Maybe
no,
you sent
you know
it-
what I did?
Yeah, you
It's
sent it to
myself.
Oh, you sent it to yourself. Oh, I thought you sent it to Mike Martino by accident. Some other guy. He's like, who is this Layla messaging me?
Okay, sent now. Sorry,
Okay.
thanks. My bad.
That's okay. All right, refreshing. Live refresh here on Mike in the Night. We're doing a live refresh on Mike in the Night. Come on, baby, refresh. Here we go. Layla. Okay, here we go. Opening. Okay, here it is. China is carrying out the world's largest climate migration program. Wow. So why are they telling us this shit? Explain.
Yeah, exactly, Mike. You're right on the ball. And if you read the earlier, just at the beginning of the paragraph, it says few countries have the power and authority over their people to move them, as though they're envious of China. China gets to move its people, we don't. In our countries, we have human rights. We can't do that. It's just ridiculous.
Wow. So few governments outside of China have the capability to enforce such mass migration, putting the world's most populous nation in the vanguard. Like, wow, vanguard. Why are you using these garbage words of global shift as temperatures rise? Wait, we're going back to global warming, or is it climate change?
Yeah, it's climate change now because you have warming in some parts, it's cold in other parts.
Oh, and it
it's
rained
wet.
yesterday, so okay, I get it.
Right.
Populations increase and water and food resources become scarcer. Oh, sorry. In the Dragon Boat Festival in early summer, I'm not going to read that. I'm going to move down to the point here. Here we go. Extreme weather or climate change shows the challenge Beijing faces in carrying out the world's largest state relocation program. Why don't they move these people to all those empty cities? They got like 40 million empty units. Officially called ecological migration, it's designed to depopulate areas for reasons ranging from the cost of providing infrastructure to remote places, to soil and green, and to soil degeneration from over farming, or even making way for a new dam. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be part of the climate lockdown scenario.
Like
I think that is-
removing
I think that
people?
is- Yes. So what happened with Lytton, BC, a few years ago in Ottawa, there was a flood. They moved people. They did these little training exercises, and here's a massive training. Well, an actual wet run, really, with China here moving 2 million people. What, 2 million people is a joke? It's a big deal.
Guys,
And
I'm going to
wars
put this
that-
link in our Discord. Hold on a second, Layla. Let me just guys, this link is in our Discord if you want to see it. There it is. It's in the Discord if you guys want to read it. This is kind of important. This may be the blueprint of what governments... Because Canada would sign on to this like in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, totally. And they're already doing things. Like, when the fires happened in Australia last year, one of the most immediate articles was in CTV News in Canada saying that, we are not far from having similar problems in our country. And a year later, here we are. It's It's all
Wasn't because of the
planned.
LGDB, Manblas, whatever, Greenpeace people said stop burning the what do you call it? That stuff what they burn every year, controlled burns.
Yeah, I mean, some people were
They
saying
were
they
going,
were
and in Australia they went 3 or 4 years
effective.
against controlled burns and the over whatever like crap that could easily kindle and fire. So all these groups went against that, and then now after they went against that, they had these major fires because all this crap starts burning at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you remember that. There was somebody from Australia on the phone like 2 years ago in 2019 talking about those fires and said that they went too many years without doing controlled burns in specific areas because the
That's
world,
right. I remember.
the earth takes itself back no matter what. The earth, after we're gone, these skyscrapers, everything around us will be gone. The earth will take everything back.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I agree that we should treat the earth, respectfully because we live off it, right? I mean, you can be sure that you're not going to take your kids fishing in a place where there was an oil dump. You're going to see that, like I don't believe in climate change theory necessarily, but you can observe damage, like I don't like any scientific theory because they're so fluffy, but what you can observe, you have to accept, so you can observe all of the trash
Mexico.
in India, in Africa, for example, in South Africa, or the problems there. You can observe the trash, you can see it with your own eyes, you don't need anyone to tell you. So that's what I go for. It's not the theories that they put out that I go for, but I don't think they care about the environment. They don't care. People who
No.
care about the environment don't put out 5G. 5G destroys the environment.
That's a good comeback right there. And you're supposed to come back and say to me, Mike, that's not a comeback. I've been here for years.
That's a good one, Mike.
Yeah, so there's the deal right there. So there it is. China is carrying out the world's largest climate migration program. Jesus. And Canada is an autonomous region of China too. And that's
Well, right. These remote areas up north. I mean, I would, if I ran Canada, if Canada was my home, I wouldn't have stuff up there. It's too expensive to have it up there. There's no need for it. This is a military base, an oil base. You don't need to build a whole economy around this. It's too costly. It's not sustainable, and it's going to come out of your taxpayer money at the end of the day. So, I agree that some things are not. They don't make a good business case. It's not practical. You need some people. You don't need a whole city, a whole town. Like if you look at people who do videos about how much it costs to buy food in these places. It's ridiculous. You have
I made a few of those videos. They're
tiny
nice.
food things well, no, but up north, you should see the prices up north, Mike. It's crazy. I don't. So some things don't make a good business case. But again, I don't think these people care. I don't think these people really worry about these logistics. I think they're more ill-willed. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really buy into their support for the environment. They're not in a position to talk about caring for the environment, okay? All of these crappy masks on the street, all of that is disposable waste. It's disposable, it goes straight into the septic tank. What about medical waste that's going to come out of how many billions of vaccines are going to produce?
Let's go back to saving 3 million lives per year. If we really want to save lives, they will just give insulin to diabetics that can't afford it. We lose 3 million people a year in this planet because people can't afford insulin. So we could save 3 million lives per year if they really want to save lives.
Yeah, and then you have to listen to these people who are talking about extending lives. Like, they're all complaining about the pensions and stuff, and they're talking about, medical breakthroughs so that we can extend our lives. It's BS. Nothing that comes out of Western medicine I'm ever going to believe. I understand science too well, and I've studied philosophy and philosophy of science and logic and reason, and all of this fails.
Yeah. All right, Layla. I'm going into my 3rd hour now, and I want to go to sleep.
I do want to leave you with something, Mike.
Go, please.
Okay, type into the search bar, if I can trouble you.
That's fine.
Transfigurism.org.
How do you spell figurism? F-I-G?
F-I-G-U-R-I-S-M.
.org?
Yeah.
It's not like a porno site, is it? No, it just says
Bring it up.
this
Let
this
people
site
see it.
cannot be reached.
Are you serious? No.
Yeah. Okay, TRANSFI.
GURISM.org. Do you want me to send you the link?
Yeah, please. If it doesn't open. Oh, there it is. As
There it
disciples
is.
of Jesus Christ, we believe in using technology to serve, lift, and love. What?
So this is the Mormon Church. They
Oh,
believe in
this is
transhumanism.
Mormons, man. Well, you scared me for a second there.
You have to listen to the stuff that they are talking about.
Yeah, but this is
These
coming
people
from a
put
guy.
their-
What?
These people put their kids on the blockchain.
Yeah, but this is okay. I understand. Okay, that's some coming from some guy who got shot and fell out of a window. The prophets, and he got some metal plates from two angels, but he had to give them back, and they were used as he was translating Reform hieroglyphics or something like that, and out came the Book of Mormon. Am I right? Is that the guy, Joseph Smith?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about his wonderful origin story. I'm sure it's
Oh,
very
it's great.
creative,
It's
like
actually
all-
better than Iron Man's.
It's better than Bill Gates's and YouTube's and Google's.
No, it's actually better than Spider-Man's too. Like, this guy gets visited by two angels. They give him some gold plates, and they translates this Reform hieroglyphic stuff. And what happened was there was a trade caravan out of that was in northeastern part of the United States in New England. They were going around selling. There was a tomb they found in Egypt, several tombs, and there was a rich a caravan guy who was going around selling mummy antiquities and partial hieroglyphics and just patterns and stuff. And Joseph Smith said that. He said basically that that these were the writings of Jacob and this and that, and Abraham we need to buy these. So he raised the money in his town to raise the money to buy the hieroglyphics, and then he translated the hieroglyphics that was called Reformed Egypt, Reform Hybrid, whatever it was. And then he took it with a seeing stone and he translated it, and basically he added parts on the Bible, removed parts, and he said that the religion was wrong and Catholics had it wrong, and he's going to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is that they all say that about each other. You know, that's the problem. Like, you cannot, that's the problem with religion, is that no one has a basis for making a case for their own interpretation of their religion. It's all relative. You know, there's no benchmark for this. Relativism is a big problem, you know, with religion. And, you know, if you listen to some of their talks, I mean, some of their talks are really serious, Mike, like how they're talking about transhumanism and how they see it as how it works with religion and how they believe that technology can help with the transcendence that is part of, you know, the what it means to believe in Jesus and stuff. You know, that can really make it into the mainstream. They've got their kids on the blockchain. They support the blockchain. They support all of this technology. They believe in things like cryonics. You know, it's really creepy, you know, and I think that's going to be leveraged because it's very easy to infiltrate these churches and all of these things when time comes. Like, you should see how they talk about it in terms of ecology, in terms of climate change. You know, they're weaving these narratives together. They're weaving the paradigm together. It's going to become a whole, you know, like the whole world we live in type of thing. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's really good to.
If you want, Layla, there's an episode of South Park that goes over Mormonism and it, like, explains the whole thing on South Park. It's actually
yeah, no, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Mormonism.
It's
I know what they're about.
It's actually like everything's factual. Like, they went through facts of the Mormon religion and actually put it in South Park, like, to the T when it comes with actual facts. And it's kind of funny when you look at it. It's just, it's not funny. I'm not mocking them. It's just, yeah, it's yeah.
No,
anyway.
it's okay. It's okay to mock them. I think it's perfectly okay to mock them. You know, it's you know, I'm not going to be proper about stupidity. That's just not going to fly. But what I'm saying is that when you listen to how they're weaving these narratives together, regardless whether it's coming from the Mormons or someone else, you can see how they can start integrating all of these these different paradigms that you would think would be opposed, to other paradigms, but no, they find a way to weave it and to make sense of it, and that's for example how Israel was sold to Americans, whereas Americans as Protestants, they were very much against this, but then they infiltrated the churches, and you have all of these ziocons all over the place. It was very easy. It was pretty easy, and through televangelism and all of that, how they weave the narratives, and you have these people who go, they do their pilgrimage in Israel, and they're like, yes, we need Israel for the second coming and all of that. It was really easy to get them to believe in that, whereas some generations back, they were completely opposed to these concepts, So that's what I'm saying. You want to track, not who was the party. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It matters how they can leverage the different groups in order to forward an agenda.
Yeah. I get it. Lord Humongous saying Mormons are nice people. No, I have nothing. There's sometimes they knock on my door and stuff. I'm not like saying anything bad. I'm just saying that that's the foundation of their religion, is that about some guy who was told by a bunch of angels that the Catholics have it wrong. We have to. That's why they call the Church of Latter-day Saints. That's to reform the church. That's what it's about. That's what the religion. But he took it from hieroglyphics that was called Reform Egypt, whatever it was called, whatever it is, right? Yeah. So Lost Together Forever is saying, so blind in following some fables. You know what, guys? I'm going to tell you something. If it wasn't for my Catholic upbringing, I could guarantee you I wouldn't be here talking to you guys every Saturday. And I'm not preaching religion here with you guys. I was taught a specific way of how things are right and wrong, and I'm seeing what's happening wrong, and I'm calling it out.
So, Mike,
yeah.
I was not raised religious at all. I come from a very, very secular family. And I also came to what is right and what is wrong as well. So that's the thing. The thing is, personal experience is not a benchmark for truth.
No, it's not about that. It's not even about truth. It's just about, I think it has to do with, how do you say it in English? It's when you say, I don't know how to say it in English. It's compassion. It's really hard. Like I've learned compassion to be like to.
That's fine. That's totally fine. I was having a conversation about that with Lord some time ago, and we still didn't go through that video, Mike, about the creation and God and the existence of God. And I think maybe when it makes sense to, I know we're really preoccupied with all of this COVID news that is very critical at this stage. When we have a gap, it might be good to go over these things, because I think these concepts are really important, because people like philosophy, they enjoy it, they really want to be able to think about that, but it takes a bit more robust kind of approach. And in this video that you sent me, you remember a long time ago about the existence of God, it's actually a good video, because he brings up several arguments for the existence of God, but he actually describes them really poorly, and he sells the idea to, he tries to sell it, and he has many gaps. So it's a good idea to bring these up. But with Lord, I was talking about, the personal experience. Like I was, so I don't believe in any religions, because I think it's mythology. I think it's obvious that it's mythology. And I was talking to him about, personal experience, and that people who are religious, they have a personal experience with God, and that is a totally fine. I have a personal experience, but here's what. If you want to use personal experience as a reason to argue for God, you're going to end up in a situation called relativism. You do not want relativism. Relativism is basically postmodernism and what Wittgenstein pulled off, and the idea that someone can identify as male when he's not female. So you want to say that, okay, I have a personal experience of Jesus or whatever, but someone who says, I have a personal experience of feeling like a man when I'm a woman, you can't be right, but they can't be right. So there are these contradictions, and you see these contradictions in the context of the Western and the Western context. They map out really well with the conservative versus the liberal. So it's a complete bipolar disorder, but you can't argue on this basis with reason. Relativism is almost always an embarrassing position to be in. So personal experience is good. It's good for your personal life, but you can't use it as a benchmark to argue for truth on behalf of others. You know what I mean, Mike?
Sure,
so these are
But what I'm saying is, why did they eradicate all the Portuguese missionaries from Japan? in the early 1700s? Why were they murdering and slaughtering? You know why? It's because the emperors and the upper echelon in Japan were realizing that the peasants were starting to have hope. And I guess...
Well, maybe, Mike, but I don't agree with colonialism in any form it takes. You know, so the Portuguese have no business being in Japan in the same way that China has no business being in Canada, in the same way that Israel has no business being in the Middle East, you know. So it's okay, you know, for you guys to go to Japan or to go to wherever, you know, but it's not okay for China, you know, to come to Canada. You know what I mean? Like, again, you know, this relativism is a problem. You know,
well,
so
the thing is, the
you're gonna
Portuguese were
argue that-
preaching peace, right, and unification and love, and
Well, you know, even then, I personally, I mean, I agree with that, and I think there's a difference between the Portuguese and the other colonials. You know, I agree with that, and I see this this nuance. You know, but in general, I personally, I don't agree with anyone coming. You know, like. Americans spreading democracy, please just go home and save your kids from drag queen story time. You know, leave us in our barbarism, okay? In the Middle East, we are barbarians, okay? We don't want democracy, okay? Just, you know, go. You know, I don't agree with colonialism in any shape or form. You know, I don't agree with that. And I think the question of North America, for example, like what's going on now with the indigenous stuff, I think that's a genuinely tricky question. And, you know, in view of, you know, people who were born down the generations, they weren't part of the colonialism and stuff. How do you deal with that? I think that's a genuinely challenging question. But for example, Israel and, you know, like, no, you know, just... They're not Arab. They have nothing to do. You know, there's Jews all over the world, Christians all over the world, Muslims all over the world. You know, you're not going to go create a country based on a religion. And then the best part is that they complain that Muslims want to create a caliphate. You know what I mean? But so they can create a Jewish state, but it's not okay for Muslims to create a caliphate. You know, again, I'm not agreeing with either. You know, I think they're both wrong. You know, but it's this relativism that you don't want to fall into because it creates inconsistencies. And here's the problem, Mike. Remember that protest that I forget his good name. He comes onto your show, Mike. He's with the Dark Force people.
Eduardo.
Yeah. So Eduardo, you remember that protest? They went down Bay Street.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the typical stuff you see. So it's like, you know, facts, not fear. You know, and then you have other people who are like Jesus, you know, so people who see that from the other side, from the liberal side or whatever, the people who are not with this team, you know, they're seeing like the obvious contradiction. Like on the one hand, you want to tell us that you are dealing in facts and that we are not dealing in facts, but you want to come and tell us that Jesus is the truth and the Bible is the truth. And you offer no justification for why the Bible is true. There is absolute, or any religion. I'm not trying to pick on Christianity. I don't care, you know, but there is absolutely no justifiable benchmark for why mythology would be true.
Layla, the Bible is severely corrupt. Okay, I know that. The church is corrupt to the core. But you got to peel back the onion. You peel back the onion, you'll find your answers. Right?
Yeah, no, Mike, I'm not saying about what you personally believe. You know, I know that's what you believe, but a lot of people don't. You know, a lot of people believe that it's the truth and it's literal and all of that, you know, and that's what they want to use to make a case for. For example, if you look at you know, these crazy Mormons and their transhumanist stuff, you know, they go back to the Bible to justify all of this. Like, it's crazy. Like, you know, this information that's in the Bible, things like transcendence, eternity, eternal life, and all of that, you know, like they want to make this happen in physical life. You know, it's kind of crazy, this kind of mythology, what kind of behavior it drives. And that's the problem with religion, is that they have ingredients for just about anything. You know, they can be taken and applied in any way. You know, it's a slippery slope, and it's like it's not really manageable, I think. People are going to pick it up and do all sorts of things with it. And so you have a million churches and a million different things. You know, it's prone to that. I know you believe that, you know, it's correct, but I'm saying others don't, you know, and it's in the marketplace.
It's, again, there's this deep, profound, and it's not faith. It's bigger than faith. Oh, you got to have faith. No. There's this, I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know how to put words to it. But I don't know. You'll see. Everybody will see. Everybody in this chat will see. And I'm not talking the coming of something on the sky. It's
And
going
the
to
aliens
happen.
are coming.
Every person here is going to know.
Is that your what's 2 weeks away? That
Oh
2 weeks
no,
away?
no. That's
okay.
nothing. No,
Yeah.
that's 2 weeks away. 2 weeks in a day, actually. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I just wanted to trust you. I don't want no one to trust me. It will happen. And yeah, yeah,
Like the end times thing, like the end of the world thing?
Oh no, it's not the end of the world.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
Well, tell us, Mike, you're being all mysterious these days. We don't know what's 2 weeks from now and what is this thing now?
Well, let's wait 2 weeks in a day, okay? And
Yeah.
it's not that long. I've been saying it for 14, 12 weeks now. So it's
Okay, Mike.
yeah. I'm going to let you go because I've been here for 3 hours and 20
we're
minutes
past
and I
the
got to
hour.
pee.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, take care, Mike.
God bless. Bye.
Yeah, God bless. Bye.
That is Layla on the show. Wow. She got real deep there. But yeah, you know what? You'll see. Everybody in this chat will see. I could promise you that. That I won't lie about. Yep. It's going to be a very interesting ride. Every person on this planet is going to be on this ride. Because we're all riding on the same carousel. 24 hours in one day. 365 360 for the sun's rotation or whatnot. Yeah, it's been a wild show, says D-Man. Yeah. I got really worked up at the beginning of the show. I know you guys saw that. I was pretty pissed. So if you're just joining us, guys, don't forget to check out, if you don't mind, my Mickey Mouse video, please. I worked hard on that video, and I did a really good voiceover. All right, guys, it's getting late. I'm gonna wrap it up. Guys, Mike Martin's here with the Mike Martin's channel on Mike of the Night. Thank you for watching.